Episode of The Market Close. We are live. It is Tuesday, July 14th. We're already midway through the month of July. And today has been a relatively interesting day in terms of all the different headlines that we had in the equity markets. S&P 500 right there, 752. We are green on the day. We did go red for a little bit earlier on, and now we have flipped green. It's actually been a really weird day across the board. What happened at the beginning of the day? You had IBM put out these preliminary results that were just really bad. The market took all the software stocks down based on what IBM said. Felt like an overreaction. And it was an overreaction because a lot of the software names rebounded, like a Palantir went from 122 to 135 at one point, right now 133. However, when that happened, all the semis went up. And as we got through the day, the semis started to go down as software started to recover, but it was only certain types of semis that started to go down. For example, SK Hynix is up 24% today, which is doing a lot different than Nebius, which is down 5%. And usually the Microns, the SK Hynix, the Nebius of the world, they would all move together because they're all sort of part of that broader semiconductor AI trade ecosystem. That's not happening today. The neoclouds are getting hit. Nebius right there down about 5.2%. Maybe because of this headline that New York City is putting a moratorium for a year on building data centers, which I don't even know how that really affects the broader neocloud trade. Like, okay, sucks for New York City, but I don't think, it's that big of a deal. Nonetheless, Nebius right there taking a 5% hit. CoreWeave also down about 4% on the day, fell below 80. But you got Micron that's up 4. You got SK up 24. SK Hynix now, by the way, is trading at a 50% premium to the Korean version of their stock, which is quite incredible. So the stock basically did nothing for the past 2 days ever since it went public. And today it's now trading at a 50% premium to the Korean version of those shares, which kind of begs the question, what are people anticipating out of SK Hynix to give it this much momentum? I mean, you can imagine it's not just algos, it's actually institutions stepping in. But that stock up 24%. Zeta was down in the morning. That's up 2.5%. Fastly, that's up 3%. Robinhood breaking through 113 as we get to the close. That is up 2.94% as well on the day. Meta, 657.90. This one's basically flat. The hyperscalers didn't do too much today besides Google and NVIDIA. Google got up 2%, and then NVIDIA, 211.79. That's up 4%. NVIDIA, 4% is a big day. That's $210 billion in market cap. So it's nice to see NVIDIA get some love. The banks also finally getting some love. JP Morgan, that was up 2% on an amazing earnings. Goldman Sachs, wow, I didn't even see that. It was up 9% on the day. When's the last time Goldman Sachs was up 9%? They had a quarter that definitely justified it. So you got XLF and the rest of the banks doing well. XLF right there, up 0.5%. Ondas had a nice little recovery. So the reason today was weird is because in the beginning, it was software down, semis up. As we get towards the end of the day, it's a lot of software up, a lot of semis up, and a bunch of software names down and a bunch of semis down. So it's kind of not as black or white as it historically has been over the past few months when it comes to software and when it comes to semis. The reason CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, and Zscaler are up is because IBM in their report this morning said that customers are seeing more concern with cybersecurity, which is causing them to kind of change or at least question the nature of that spend. And as soon as the CEO of IBM said that, you had the cybersecurity stocks do really well. Also, he gave a quote, the IBM CEO, to CNBC, and this is also when things started calming down at around 11 a.m. today. Quote, "A few large CapEx deals paused near the end of the quarter. It's not widespread. It's mainframe and the software associated with it. Mythos is making people pause to say, wait, how much do I actually need to spend on cybersecurity? They're pausing on new deals until they know we don't see our software being disrupted by AI at all." So maybe a little bit of damage control by the IBM CEO right there by saying, AI is not killing our software, even if the market's interpreting it like that. But his claim is it's not really about AI. It's more so about this concern that some of CapEx needs to be spent on these frontier models that are uniquely positioned to sort of navigate some of the cybersecurity risks that exist in an enterprise. And as a result of that, you've got the Palo Altos, the Zscalers, and the CrowdStrike's doing as well as they're doing. Palo Alto right there, 7%. That's almost a $3 billion company. And CrowdStrike is now at 810 post-split or pre-split, 213 billion as that continues to go green. Microsoft this morning, 382 to 385. ServiceNow, 101 to 104.83. ServiceNow still down about 5% on the day. So this is what I mean. Like, some of the software names are having a great day, like a Zeta, Figma, Palantir. By the way, Figma, absolutely crazy today. Well, it's now below 24. It was at almost 25. Now it's getting sold off right towards the end of the day. But still, it was 21 few days ago, now at almost 24, 23.90 right there. But not all the software names are going up. Salesforce down about 2%, ServiceNow down 5%, Adobe is down 4.5%, Microsoft obviously down 1.3%, but then you have the Zetas and the Palantirs of the world that are getting a little bit of love. So weird day to say the least, but it's not as black or white as usual when it comes to software being up or semis being down at the same time. 197 on Nebius as that is down 6%. So Lucid rumored to file for bankruptcy. That's why the stock went from 570 to 237. It was down literally 50%. The CEO came out and said the rumors are fake. We're not going bankrupt. And now the stock is only down 16%. I don't think it would have been crazy to imagine Lucid would go bankrupt, because I don't know how this company is still here, to be honest. Like, the Saudis just keep pumping money into it. But, the CEO came out, said, hey, we're not actually going bankrupt. We're going to be okay. And the stock's only down 16% instead of down 50%. And so that's kind of some of the core headlines that we've got going on. Obviously, the big headline of the day, well, there were mainly two of them. Number one is CPI came in way better than expected, 3.5 versus 3.8, which is what we've needed to see for the market to start, feeling that inflation is not going to have that big of a risk. Kevin Warsh testified. We listened to a lot of the stuff he said. He didn't say anything that was different or new. So really, I think, Kevin Warsh did a great job, but it wasn't like he said anything that was super surprising or something that was different. But it's also good because it didn't catch the market off guard. And then you had Trump saying, I've decided to replace the 20% cargo reimbursement fee that he instituted yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, with trade and investment deals with the Gulf states. I don't exactly know what that means. I don't know what type of Gulf states are going to agree to some type of deal to escape the quote unquote 20% cargo tariff that Trump was going to put on them. I mean, one could argue that there was never going to be that tariff and those countries aren't negotiating anything. Or you could say that, maybe Kuwait was really afraid of some 20% fee and they're now going to be investing in the United States. We have no real details on that, but it didn't really help oil. Oil's still just below 80, 79.73, up about 2% of the day. So, we got the taco, but it didn't necessarily get oil down to where it needed to be, even with a good CPI. So the fact that it's barely under 80, it was pushing 81 in the pre-market. It's nice that it's under 80, but you would think it would fall a lot more, and that's not really what we're seeing right there. NVIDIA 212, that's up 4.2% as we get to the end of the day. Oh, the game is going on too, right? Spain, England? No, France, sorry. France, oh, that already happened. Sorry. Did it? Who's in the semis again? What is this bracket? World Cup bracket. France and Spain today. Oh, sorry. England, Argentina tomorrow. Okay, France and Spain. What is the score? It's 1-0 Spain. Okay. We are going to have to see if Spain becomes, if Spain gets to the finals here when it comes to the World Cup. I know most people are rooting for France, right? So, yeah, it's halftime right now. SK Hynix, absolutely crazy at 193. This one's a little confusing why it's trading so aggressively compared to its Korean shares, and why the other memory names aren't really making the massive move that they're making here as well. Micron 980. I mean, it's a good day, but it's nothing like SK Hynix right here. But it's up. So if you did buy the dip on that, congratulations that continues to go green. Look at Hoodie right towards the end of the day, getting a little bump right there. Mr. Robin at 113.50. This was stuck at 108 as well. So that is now also getting a rebound. Palantir again, great day. 122 to 133.89. That's up 2.9%, breaking out above that 130 level. Is one of the software names that did decent. Iren was down about 1.5%. ARM, I still don't know why this thing took a hit. Maybe they got a downgrade. They got a couple upgrades this morning as well, but that went down. Then Qualcomm down about 2.6%. Put in the chat if you bought the dip on anything, or if you sold anything. We bought ServiceNow and Microsoft in the morning. Very small buys for the long-term port on my end, but nothing else throughout the day. SanDisk right there, that's up 5%. Intel, that's 5%. MicroStrategy, 5.7%. SoFi as well, having a great day, up 2%. I see some CoreWeaves, some Qualcomm, some Nabises. Oracle, is this still thing below 130? It is still below 130. Interesting. Still below 130 right here. I feel like Oracle with the other neoclouds is obviously going to have a sentiment issue if, the neoclouds continue to sell off, but you're seeing it get hit right here, and really has been getting hit over the past couple of days. Updates on the Clarity Act. Here's what one of our senators, Loomis, who is really spearheading this initiative, here's what she had to say earlier this morning. Bitcoin and Ethereum also having a pretty big day.
This bill in the condition it's in today, and we're ready. So we will be introducing in the next few days. We're going to be in session now for 4 straight weeks. It's very important that we get this bill across the finish line before the August recess begins, so we can make the markets aware of the stability that will be provided to them if they remain onshore in the United States to do business. This is a pivotal time for the industry, and we want to meet their needs. We also want to meet the needs of law enforcement with regard to preventing illicit finance and provide consumer protections. We think we've accomplished that goal with this bill. It's been arduous, but we're ready for prime time.
Absolutely. So is it fair to say this bill will be it will be on the Senate floor the week of July 20th?
Well, I expect it'll be that week, but considering the important things that we have to deal with in these 4 weeks, Senator Thune will make the final decision about which week to bring clarity to the floor. We're voting today on the motion to proceed to the National Defense Authorization Act. And as you know, we've got issues with Save America to deal with and other things as well. But Senator Thune is well aware of the importance this bill provides for market stability for digital assets. So I think he'll schedule it this 4-week period.
August 7th is not too far away. So I think part of the reason why ETH and Bitcoin, outside of CPI being really good, got a little bit of a boost, Bitcoin right there, 64.5, is because, we're getting some more clarity on the Clarity Act. BMNR also having its best day, it feels like, in months. BMNR right there up 11.6. MicroStrategy up almost 6%. Robinhood getting a nice little push towards the end of the day. So if that can continue, wow, SK Hynix 193 right here. I think it's attracting a lot of the traders now that are coming in and seeing the volume. Volume 65.7 million shares. I think that's helping the broader crypto trade. And now we just got to see if that can continue. Nabesis falling at the close. We got 2 minutes left. So this NeoCloud data center trade has obviously gone south over the past few weeks. The software names, not all of them, but some of them have started to get some more love. The big cap semi names like NVIDIA also, this was at 190 last week. Now it's at 211. Not bad. Broadcom was pushing below 380 yesterday, now at 389. SpaceX did fall below, oh my. Last time I saw it, it was like a 139, so it was below 140, 136. The lowest it hit yesterday, I think, was 135.90. So you got about 20 cents left. If it actually goes below that, then, I mean, it's going to be 90 cents away from its IPO listing price. Sweetgreen is down 14%. I do not know why. We do have Airtest Systems earnings after the bell, so we'll take a look at that. We will have Technical Tuesday. Yeah, I have no idea why Sweetgreen is down. I don't know. I know a lot of people saw the broader thesis around their wraps, and that kind of went viral, but I don't think we have earnings today. That thing's falling off a cliff. Goodness, 14.7% as this one is coming down. SpaceX right here. We got 30 seconds into the close, 2% down. Let's see if it can protect 135. I think you're going to have a lot of the market makers that are incentivized to make sure it doesn't go below 135. ASTS also falling right there, but still up 1.7%. Rocket Lab tried to make a move, got to 82.50, and then just couldn't hold steady. 78.80, that's down 2.6%. JP Morgan again up 2.5. Amazon 247. Bank of America also hit a 52-week high today. So the banks, they did their thing. They got rewarded. It's the NeoClouds, some of the semis, and then some of the software names that ended up getting hit. Here we go. Tuesday, July 14th, 4 p.m. The stock market is now closed. All right. We are done for the day. We do have Airtest Systems earnings, which we will take a look at, as I believe that's one of the only big earnings we have today. We have the banks in the morning. Tomorrow after the bell, we have United, ASML, J&J, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, and Blackstone. And then Thursday, we have Netflix, which will be important. S&P 500 closes at 751.89. Relatively good day. Salesforce was down about 5%, about 2% of the day. SpaceX was down about 2.2%. Broadcom was up 1.32%. Nebius, pretty ugly day, especially given Nebius had a new deal with Reflection, which was $1 billion deal they announced today, and they're opening up data centers in India. So you had really positive headlines. Again, that New York City moratorium headline, or it's New York State, not New York City, but I just don't know if that's a thesis breaker for the neoclouds, unless the market's thinking that all these other companies are going to get it, or states are going to start banning data centers, which obviously wouldn't be a good thing for the AI trade. But, you know, New York State is just one state, and I don't even know if Nebius or CoreWeave or any of these guys had plans to expand in New York State. But that, I think, was your headline. I think that was your headline right there. New York to enact nation's first statewide moratorium on data centers. The governor will sign an executive order pausing the construction of the largest data centers for 1 year while the state assesses their effects on the environment and energy use. And maybe that was enough to offset a big $1 billion deal that Nebius got this morning. BMNR closes up 11%. Palantir was up about 2.8%. Robinhood, 113.45. That was up 3.2%. Micron up 5% of the day. SK Hynix closes at 193.92. Pretty incredible day. Now trading at a 50% premium to its South Korean version of those shares. That's up 27% on the day. Lucid is also down 16% of the day. They were down 50, but now they are down 16. Amit, are you buying the SpaceX dip? I am not. I do think SpaceX could work from here just because at 135, I think there's going to be a lot of incentive to not let it fall that low. So a bounce back up to 145, 147 is not that crazy from here. But fundamentally, it's going to be hard to sleep at night knowing there's 96% of shares that are ready to get unlocked. And, you know, the stock is basically at its listing price. Like it's a question of, do you think it's worth that much when those shares get unlocked? And quite frankly, are employees and VCs going to sell once they get those shares unlocked? Because even if they sell at 100, you know, if they bought it at $10, they'll be pretty happy to take those profits, which is just more sell side pressure. Google right there, 359.50. That was green on the day. AEHR, Air Test Systems. This is a photonics play. I don't have their earnings yet. Let's see if we can get it. I don't know if we're going to get it exactly after the bell. It is up 1% already. Don't have their numbers yet. Put in the chat if you're in this one. It's a much smaller name in the photonics space. It's up a lot this year, like a ton. Year to date, AEHR is up 224%. So now it was at 115, so it's obviously down a lot from those levels, but can't complain too much if you got in early on this name. 72.01, it was up 6% on the day. I do not think we have the earnings, folks, but we are getting some move right here after hours. Let's get a little bit of an update on SK Hynix, and then we will get into AEHR. I think those are the main headlines for the day. The New York data center stuff, the IBM stuff, which obviously affected software for a bit. Oh, where did IBM end on the day? IBM, did anyone buy the dip on IBM? IBM 217 lost $75 billion of market cap, as that one took a pretty ugly hit here today.
Christina Parts-Neville is
servers, storage, and memory, really racing to lock in supply before prices climb further. So that really helped these hardware players. Bad for IBM's software business, though. Good for the hardware makers on the other side of that trade. Chips felt it too. NVIDIA wiped out yesterday's losses. AMD got a price target hike from KeyBank, $725 up from $530. Bank of America, in their morning note, they said, do what IBM's own clients did. Buy memory and AI hardware, delay software. Memory was, of course, another standout today. SK Hynix surging roughly 27%. There was a new Barclays overweight call, $330 price target, citing its, of course, AI memory leadership, specifically in high bandwidth memory, strong cash flow. And if you could see just on your screen, SK Hynix shares closing at an almost 50% premium to its South Korean counterpart. You just take the US number, 193, multiply it by 10, and then you can calculate the difference. Micron, SanDisk, Western Digital all cut a bid, as well as cybersecurity. CrowdStrike among the top S&P 500 gainers after IBM's
Okay, so that was the update on memory, SK Hynix, and IBM's push to get some of these hardware names to get some more love. AEHR, 5% move. I do not have the numbers yet, but 5% feels rather encouraging, especially in a sector that's just kind of been hit over the past month when it comes to photonics. Let me see if I can get some of these numbers. Jason will be on in about 15 minutes. And then we will get into Technical Tuesday. I do not see their numbers yet. AEHR receives more than $8 million in new silicon carbide wafer level burn-in orders. Okay, so they got a new deal. Wow, stock's up 12. $8 million new deal. That's good. That's not bad. EPS and revenue forecast. Let me see. I don't have it. Let me go to their website. Let me just go to their website and see. Okay, AEHR. Their website is not loading. So we're going to have to wait right here. 50. Okay, so the street lights. This is actually really encouraging for Lumentum, Coherent, AAOI. Yep, Lumentum up after hours. Coherent up after hours. AXTI probably up after hours. Slightly down. And then AAOI should be up. That is up 1% after hours. Airtest Systems might have really done a solid for all the photonics names. No results. No results on their website yet. We should be getting the numbers. The street obviously has the numbers if they're liking it here. Okay, record quarterly bookings and effective backlog provide substantial visibility into projected fiscal 2027 revenue of 130 to 150 million, representing 260 to 300% growth. So they are guiding to about 3x growth. Net revenue was 18 million compared to 14 million last year. So 18 million versus 14 million. And net income was 1.4 million or 4 cents a share compared to a net loss of 3 million last year. Non-GAAP net income, including stock-based comp, was 3.6 million. Bookings were a record 60.7 million for the quarter. I think that's the reason the stock's really pumping. That right there, 60.7 million for the quarter. Effective backlog, including bookings since May 29th, is now 100.6 million. The company has 116.5 million in cash. And that is what I think the street is liking right there. 15%, 16, wow. She's moving. The photonics names have been stuck the past month. But the thing about the semis that have been stuck the past month, they're going to have record earnings, and we all know that. So if they end up really putting up the results that the street once again can't deny, do you buy IBM or do you buy Airtest Systems? I mean, you might have a lot of capital. Just say, okay, I'd rather buy the more expensive name for the growth that I know that I'm going to get. 82.15, that is up 16%. After hours right here. Non-GAAP net income was about 900,000. GAAP net loss, about 7.1 million. Okay, I mean, even if it holds 7 to 8% of this, 15% is incredible. But as long as it can hold more than 5%, I think that gives it a good lock-in to get some love tomorrow. Is this bullish for Nebius? This is bullish for the broader AI trade. Nebius, I don't think is that correlated with the optics names. I mean, there are some intersections, but Nebius actually down after hours again. I wonder if we get 180 here. We got 185 on Nebius last week in the pre-market, got eaten up really quickly. CoreWeave right there, just below 80 on the close. Coherent's up, AXTSI up, AAOI is up, Lumentum is up, and then Airtest Systems really doing the move, which is up as well. So it's a beat on the rate, or it's a beat on the it's a beat on EPS, beat on revenue, and then a beat on guide. They beat EPS by 1,200%. They beat revenue by about 1%. Nothing too crazy on revenue, but the guide was seeming like enough of a beat to get the street to be more excited. Okay. Not bad. If you're in Airtest Systems, congrats. There you go. 13.6% after hours. Crypto had a relatively okay day. Hyperscalers, not a bad day. Tesla right there, 396. That was actually green, just below 400. IBM had the worst of the days. The banks had a great day. A lot of the software names participated, even though some of them still sold off because of IBM. Some of your semis, like a Cerebras, were down on the day, but they were down like 7% in the morning. They ended down less than 1%. So many of them ended up recovering. Even Space, although they sold off towards the end of the day, did not have the worst day. Rocket Lab was pushing below 75, ended at 78, did get to 82.50 at one point as well. Yeah, Poet should be up after hours on this, actually. Yep, Poet's up 2% based on Air Test Systems. Now 17% here after hours. Okay, before we get Jason on, let's take a bit of a look at what Bank of America is saying. They are super bulled up AI. Their macro team is super bearish, but their AI team is super bullish. Let's hear from one of their analysts, and then we will get into Technical Tuesday.
Today. So I would say that's the AI trade.
Okay, so that's how you look at the pure, what you think the AI trade is now is more related to these than the mega caps. Have we kind of moved on? Have we squeezed all the juice that we're going to get for a little bit out of that?
No. So I actually think, like, if I was going to buy one stock right now, it would be Micron.
It would.
Right? It would be Micron.
Wow, Adam Parker said it was a buy also. He just left the set.
I didn't. Well, that's why we're friends.
Well, why do you have the confidence to say that now?
Because if you look at the cash flows that Micron is going to earn over the next even like 18 months, it will make up like 30% of their market cap. And if you extend it out another year, it's like 50% of their market cap today. The memory market is changing. And I think the biggest risk is that China actually comes and becomes a fourth player in the memory market, but that doesn't really happen or can impact the market till 29 or 30.
Because Apple's been talking about tapping that market, right?
They have been, and we'll see if they're able to. But for lower end NAND and lower end DRAM, the Chinese DRAM and NAND actually can suffice. So, but we are so short on the high end DRAM that you have pricing power for a very long time. So you have one part of the market that is losing pricing power with the software names, and you have one side of the market that is going to have ever increasing pricing power for the next like 18 months.
Why so much volatility then, if the story, at least as you articulate it, pretty cut and dry? Prices are going to remain elevated, demand's going to remain robust, supply is going to be constrained. That's like a recipe for stock to go up. Well, what's been happening then?
Investors are creatures of habit. So if you talk to I'm an ex-semiconductor investor, and every semiconductor investor will tell you, oh, it's cyclical. You want to try to find the peak, and you're going to put a low multiple on that peak. The problem is that the stocks don't actually peak until you see the peak earnings. And so we think that peak earnings is into 27, potentially even in 28. You see peak earnings.
Okay, so you're making the argument essentially that what people have historically looked at as highly cyclical businesses and industries is different this time, especially as it relates to this, because you're making a case that it's a secular grower. It's not a cyclical story anymore.
I would say it's a secular grower until we have too much capacity, and at some point we'll have too much capacity, and it really depends on how much CapEx gets put in the ground. As of right now, we can't even put CapEx into the ground, so we cannot make as many chips as we need because we don't have the fabs. We can't fill the fabs that we don't have. So building the fabs is going to take a little while. Then outfitting the fabs will take a little bit longer. And then as you get to the end of the decade, you have new growth drivers with autonomous vehicles and robotics, which are a new leg of growth.
Okay. Speaking of all that, SpaceX is now one of your top holdings, right? What do you?
Bank of America is bullish AI. I mean, her number one stock right now is to buy Micron. I think the logic makes sense. At the end of the day, the whole sector is cyclical, but we are not near the end of the cycle because we haven't seen peak earnings yet. Either we have and the earnings are going to decline. If we haven't, then it's still cyclical, but it's just a long time before the peak earnings come in. Maybe even if it's a year from now, many of those stocks probably still can't trade at the multiple that they're trading at. So, I mean, look, they're bullish, and the earnings picture continues to be the reason why they are bullish.
Make of the way that's traded?
Look, I think that it was a great IPO. It's come back into the IPO price. I think there's a lot of kind of nuances around just the liquidity and
lockups, things like that.
Right. So the lockups are coming to market. I think it's like 7% every few months.
Okay.
With a big one in 180 days, I think that's 28%. gets unlocked. And so, the market just has to continuously absorb that. Some of it will be absorbed by the indices taking up SpaceX as a portion of the indices, but the market just has to absorb it. So I think that over the next 6 months, SpaceX might just kind of trade tough.
Do you play for a merger with Tesla? Is that the sort of the end game on that?
No, on SpaceX?
Well, I mean, is that you have investors that are
Yeah.
thinking that way? I don't mean end game is like, well, the story ends, but you know what I mean? I mean, that's a principal part of the thesis from some investors.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
You have not entertained that?
I haven't. You won't own SpaceX to own Tesla, right? For the takeover of Tesla, you own SpaceX because it is one of the most open-ended stories we have seen probably in our generation, and at like $1.5 trillion market cap, or 1.8 today. But you can basically Starlink and xAI is the majority of that market cap today, and you can on 2028 numbers. So I don't really think that it's a far stretch to say, well, Tesla is an addition to that, not the end game.
We'll leave it there. Ankur, thank you as always. Ankur Crawford, straight ahead.
I think her semi take makes sense. I do not think the SpaceX take makes any sense. I mean, she basically said at 1.8 trillion, xAI and Starlink is most of that. It's like, yeah, because that's the company. And none of those parts of the business are producing revenue or earnings that I think is worth 1.8 trillion. So, some things you can agree with, some things you disagree with here, but I think their semis take continues to be the reason for why AEHR right there is up 22% after hours. Again, her argument is record earnings growth hasn't happened yet, which is why the cycle hasn't peaked. AEHR just had their best earnings in the company's history. That's why the stock is up 21%, and hopefully it takes all the photonics names up with it as well. Okay, folks, that is what we got. It is once again Tuesday. And because it is Tuesday, we are going to dive into all the technical nuances of the global capital equity markets. And in order to do that, we need someone to help us dive into what is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, on another Tuesday, it is time to roll the intro.
Moving around. Are we good?
Dude, every
Trying
time
to
I
be
hear
centered.
the intro, I want to run through a brick wall.
What?
It just hypes me up, bro. Yeah, it hypes me up. I just want to
I run through a brick wall.
I want to. That's an expression, right? You never heard that expression? I just want to
No, I think you just made it up. It's your expression.
No, that is, chat, back me up on this. That's an expression.
Chat, there's no such expression.
100%. We're gonna ask Gemini. Yup, you're wrong, buddy.
Am I?
You might know how to look at support and resistance, but you don't know about sayings.
Possessing an intense, unwavering. All right.
Yeah. Bricks. That's why we got bricks in the background. Yeah. Amit is not wrong, dude. I just looked at him on Gemini.
Amit is not wrong. Amit is not wrong.
Unless Gemini is giving me
Jason could be wrong here. For sure.
We've got a lot to talk about, dude.
Do we? I mean, thank God for air test systems. I think that's, there was, who was it? TSEM today, this morning?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, look, there's little pieces if you know where to look. I'm trying to find on my stupid list here. Good God. I have too many lists. TSEM. TSEM.
3 billion Japanese expansion for photonics. Yep.
Yeah. I think that kicked it off. And then boom, we saw all the semis catch a little bit of, not all of them. Not all the AI trade, but a lot of the AI trade, the picks and shovels trade. And I don't even know if I should be talking. I probably should not talk about Big Blue today because that thing has got me got me heated right now. But you know,
But
it is
you mean
what it is.
IBM?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
IBM is so
definitely.
dumb. No,
Uh,
don't. You're. But hey,
Guys, Spain just scored again.
oh dude,
Oh boy. Dude, everyone told me France was winning this shit.
I mean, should I
They're
call
gonna
the? Do you want me to call the quant?
You know, the
I'll
FIFA
text-
people to
I'll text him really quick. Let me see.
do people want Spain to win or France to win?
Who
Because
is
yesterday all you
winning
guys wanted France to win.
the World Cup?
I mean, 2 goals here. We're gonna have to pull this out now. All right. So let's get into it and let's get started.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'm curious about your thoughts, man. We'll start with SPY, guys. So we'll do all the large caps and then we'll get into the audience requests. But I'm curious your thoughts because we're in a weird market right now where the dip on semis is not being bought. The software dip is kind of being bought, but not really. The SK Hynix is now trading at 50% above its South Korean version of the shares, but Micron was barely up 5%. Like,
After dumping 15% on day one, only to
Yeah.
rally how many percent? 20% to the highs on day two. You're
Yeah.
like, what's happening? It's wild, right?
yeah. So I am very curious from a technical perspective, at least what you're seeing, and you know, if anything has changed here.
Well, you know, before we get into that, I did get a response from the quant about the World Cup. Do you want it?
Yeah. What do you say?
Spain.
Well, now that they're up 2-0, it's kind of easy to.
Is
say.
it?
What
Let
are they
me ask
trading
you, what's the spread?
on the prediction markets? They're probably at like 90%, right? They're 91%. So there's still a 9
You know,
cent
That's why
arbitrage.
it's the quant.
No, they're really trading at 93%. Okay, so there's a 7 cent arbitrage if you buy Spain right now.
No, he actually said I had France, but they're down.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Everyone had France. Everyone had 3-0. Did they just get a penalty or something? Or
What am I looking at right now? Oh no, that's air. I thought you were charting prediction markets for a second. By the way, if you've never charted prediction markets, bro, you can do that.
I've seen Jason do that. It's crazy.
That is money. It actually works.
Wow, 3-0. Now the probability is
They're saying they call it offsides.
oh, so it didn't count? It didn't count?
I don't know. It looks like offsides.
Okay, let's get into stocks. So let's pull up SPY. Let's get into it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
I have to share my screen. I'm feeling frisky today, dude. So you're gonna have to put me in my place if we get a little out of hand. But
so basically, Jason is saying we have to be stringent with the timer here today.
Oh.
To make sure he's on track.
fair enough. Let me I can read it. So fine, we have to be serious. Listen, Linda's the first thing is that this is SPY on the charts, right there. Right there. It's actually gone nowhere.
Jason, you know
Yes.
that given you started your analysis, the timer button
Okay.
could be pressed to, you know.
So here we go. All right.
See, now everyone's going amidst such a dick.
No. It was needed. It was necessary. It again, I posted a couple of things here. I will say that coming into this last 2 weeks, it's the setup has been at times very ugly, but also we have yet to break down. And the dynamic that we're seeing, I think, is super interesting because we could be looking at yet another what do we call it? Very bearish pattern failing at, at an epic proportion, quite frankly, that could technically, like this is 2 weeks ago coming in. This is bearish. This is an ugly look. Ugly. And then as we move forward, this is the process. You're like, oh, okay. We're not failing. All of a sudden, this was a, the head and shoulders pattern. A very ugly pattern failing tends to be super bullish because everybody's off sides, right? Like if they're short, they're all short down here. And the fact that this short didn't play out, they're having to cover. And we're kind of seeing that. And as time's moving forward, we're starting now to get into catalysts. We just got through CPI. We have one more little piece to get through tomorrow, which is PPI. I don't think Humphrey Hawkins, the semi-annual House and Senate testimony is gonna. It's a political circus act. It's not typically much more than that. But
and CPI was pretty good today, right? It's the best we could have asked for.
Yeah, I mean, so the question is like, do you believe it, right? So then that's why we need to see PPI tomorrow. That said, so this could be a fake out on the other end. So I don't want to get over my skis. That's all I'm saying, right? If anybody was in the NFP webinar that we did the week before last, maybe, we literally walked through exactly this. What I will say moving forward is that it's very crystal clear what I need to see. And I need to see a net new candle opening over 754, call it 755, just to be totally fair. You get this set up, it's a wrap, we're done, right? If you get it, if you set up for that now, I will say you're technically front running. Because what could happen next is simply something like that, which also would be very typical. And we could even have a little bit of a follow through like this. Not saying that's going to happen, but it doesn't really matter because even that is not going to be a what would you call it? That's not even a breakdown. We could do this more is what I'm saying. We could easily traverse this. The levels that matter at this point, very like exacting point in time, is that tomorrow, if we open over 751.25, we're probably good. The opening print, post PPI. If we open below that second situation with the red bars, it's probably going to happen. And so right now, I don't have a trigger one way or the other. We're about to get one. All I can say is that the longs from this low down here already hit their targets, and we're on to the next trade. And this is basically net, just broad consolidation. Like I was saying before, we're not going to break out unless we're trending over 755. Let's say we open over that next week and we hold that. That should be the lows for the month. What I can say right now also is that per my system, usually NFP, we got it on a Thursday of this month. 88% of the time marks the high or the low for an entire month. And right now, so I keep jumping around here. Right now, this was the high and this was the low. I think this is very close to the low. We got one, I don't even know. But we don't have a clean breakout. And I would say that breakout needs to go through the June range. So it's decidedly neutral. I think this is an amazing market if you like to sell premium on both ends right now until we get a little bit more clarity. I think that clarity is coming. I just don't know that it's coming this week right here, right now.
So the fact that we didn't really break below 740 to you is encouraging that the consolidation kind of keeps us in a range effectively.
735. Yeah. So it would have to be, the break below would have to be below 735. It's not even 740 because we have June's NFP range to get through. So all this said, again, we'll just think about it this way. We probably already saw the high or the low for the month locked in. It's just a matter from here, did we see the high or did we see the low? We don't know which one we've seen, but it's very likely, it's highly probable, extremely probable that we've already seen that. And here we are closing towards the highs. It's very constructive. If we continue to go a little bit more for the rest of the month, we should just be in an uptrend and there should be no more thoughts about shorting anything unless it's IBM. But even then, you probably don't have to. It's probably not a good short. But we're broken companies, if you will. But yeah, this is good. I think, if you sell, even if you sold like premium like this, that looks money to me. I have like condors on the Qs. Look at this. The Qs cannot get any tighter. So between the two, QQQ or SPY, and I pause the timer, I'm over time. again, it's very similar. Here's my range for the month of June. Here's my range for the month of July. Look how consolidated this is. Extremely tight, but that's 705, give or take 704 downside on QQQ. I am dead center, like dead center range here on the Qs. So to think that there's a direction here is like, where? I don't have it. I don't have a direction. Does it look toppy? Yeah, it could look toppy. It looks like a big giant bull flag. It could look like all kinds of things, but it doesn't matter. I don't have what we would call a trigger just yet. And in this setup, it needs to be on a much higher time frame. So this whole thing is going to take a little bit longer to play out. Same question here though, right? It's did we see the high or did we see the low for the month? Because the fact of the matter for the Qs is the same. We've likely already seen the high or the low for the month. It's just which one. Right now we're smack dab in the middle.
Okay, Nebius.
So I think this is interesting. I like Nebius, but I think it could go a little bit lower. I feel like IBM is going to be a bit of a bellwether for a lot of different reasons. I don't know if people understand that IBM actually sells infrastructure, but they do. And so I don't know if they're saying, what was the story? The story that comes out of IBM today is, okay, software is dead. And their CEO says their customers are running to buy infrastructure, memory, server, and storage. So my guess would be, without looking at the charts, that server, storage, and memory stocks probably caught a little bit of a bid, those specific three, based on what this guy says. IBM is decidedly, to me, a very IBM-centric only problem, not anything else. It shouldn't carry over. But Nebius, if the market's reading that as they've pulled forward a lot of demand, that's the only thing I can see. Also, Nebius is probably going to have a good quarter. It's also possible that they raise on said quarter, even after getting $1 billion deal today. So I think that's a little bit of a concern. And I think this rhetoric, this storyline, if you will, is kind of what I'm seeing in the chart. So that's the only reason why I'm saying it. It's because that's what I'm starting to see a little apprehension. And these are the reasons that you could be apprehensive. All that said, I think right in here is very close to support. This green box, that's where I want it. I think it's imminent that we get it. And if we get that before earnings, I think it sets up a little something like this that, quite frankly, Nebius opened right. A lot of things opened right at resistance too. SPY specifically and all this stuff. Qualcomm just got decimated intraday. A lot of stuff. But this is the support area. We actually tagged it once already in the aftermarket or pre-market here. This is, what day is that? And as long as we can hold this general area, I think that's the area I'm really interested in seeing this. So as this approaches here, I'm actually laser focused on this for a bit of a pre-earnings bounce, because what is this, down 30% from the highs? The best neo cloud of the bunch to me. 40% from the peak. It's intriguing. Now, do I have it ready to go? No. But if this bounces violently from here, that's how we could get a bit of a V-shaped recovery. And I think the selling will stop. The selling tends to stop just before earnings, which is about 2 weeks away from now. So it's very likely that this can get a bit of a relief bounce into earnings. And this area of interest is what I'm watching.
It's also confusing with Micron and AEHR up 30%. All the other semi names pumped, but the neoclouds are down. So it feels sector specific to neoclouds.
Yeah. So to exactly that point, I think it's about capital raises. It's about the fact that just because you're a neocloud doesn't mean that you're going to make any money. I think that's still a concern. And creative financing remains like the biggest risk, I think, for a lot of these. At least to me, Nebius doesn't have to depreciate, legacy gear off their finances. So, and from a creative financing perspective. I think it's about 90% of what they've already committed to spend so far is backed by customers prepaying a lot of their contracts. So the customers are funding the build outs for Nebius today. It's not dilution. I believe based on their earnings transcripts and not listening to the call that they're investor focused and care about stock appreciation, stock price appreciation, unlike some of the rest. I cannot say that for those. So I like Nebius best out of the bunch for those reasons, and not having to do any creative financing so far is the bull case, but also possibly the caution, because maybe they do dilute, even if they're doing well.
NVIDIA.
I glanced at it. NVIDIA looked good today. Yeah, man. She's good. Did we say this was a go? I think we did. Tuesday.
Is that about 195 around that? Yeah.
Yeah. No, literally on our last technical Tuesday, I said this is a go. Go for launch, baby. Go for liftoff. No, this looks good. This is the same kind of thing. I think this is a picture perfect situation. What we're seeing in the market is we're seeing a lot of Mag 7s actually get a little bit of love. We're seeing Apple at all-time highs. We're seeing Microsoft start to barely bounce off the lows. We're seeing Google hold up and actually look fairly constructive. Even Amazon bounced back pretty significantly, I believe. Across the board, I think we're seeing the mega cap move first, which is not what we're used to. So I think Broadcom probably got a little bit of a bounce as well. And then I think the smaller mid caps will follow. So all that said, this actually does look constructive. If you didn't grab it yet, at this point, I'm not sure that there's a lot more room to go. At least what I can say is right in here between 213 and 220, this is your resistance area right here. We already hit support and support held. So what that should tell you is that we don't want any massive pullbacks at this point, right? You don't want to see anything lower than that 190. And so this is, can you guys see this? Okay, there's a lot of lines is what's going on here. But up to 214, I think is probably where we even open tomorrow. And this can get up to 222, give or take. That's where I would be more cautious than optimistic in that instance. And you could see a little bit of sideways action. But honestly, something like this, sideways like that, from holding a higher low around today's high. If it gets to 222, pulls back and holds roughly today's high, that's the best case scenario for a further bounce. And then if it's over 222 moving forward, then this is how you would get that. This is how that whole thing would play. It would play out something like this. And you get your extension. But at that point, it does also become a momentum trade. So it's possible, believe it or not, that this is, I don't want to say this. It's actually possible that before earnings, NVIDIA is back to all-time highs. It's very possible before earnings. Is that going to be the best setup? Probably not. I don't think it matters, actually. If NVIDIA does the deal, it probably doesn't matter. And worst case scenario, it comes back to where it was last Tuesday, post earnings.
If it gets to 240 before earnings, I imagine the S&P is not going to be stuck at 750 either. Right.
And so that's exactly what I'm saying. So when we going back to, without changing the chart, what I was saying is that the setup is a setup that could potentially lead to a short squeeze yet again in the market, because it was very bearish 2 weeks ago, and there's still a ton of bearish sentiment in the market, generally speaking, and a lot of fears. So it's very possible that we get yet another short squeeze. But at the same time, it's a neutral look right here and now, meaning it's probably best to sit on your hands for a little bit and wait for this to actually start playing out before you make any large decisions. We're not at a massive discounted rate to say, oh yeah, this is a dip to buy. And it's not clear enough that we're going to break out and that short squeeze is going to commence. in either case, it's more neutral. So this is a moment where I would preach to the trading team, patience is a virtue, and you don't have to trade every day, but there's still money to be made intraday as active traders. But from a swing trading or position trading perspective, it's going to be a little choppy for the next week or so.
Oracle.
Oh, well, that's just that. I don't know what that is. Oh, yeah. So here we are. I said a 20, like 120 handle, right? Oh, fresh lows, my guy.
For the year too.
Yeah, this is looking nice. Well, so I think Oracle, look, the short has basically played out. I had just under this, like around 115. This setup here is very simple. Do not touch Oracle from the long position unless it's over 135 from here moving forward. If it's over 135 and holding, you're good to go for a little bit. And you have to hold these lows. So what I'm looking at is a potential technical setup, which we call like sweeping the lows. Like you could possibly sweep the lows here and set up for a bit of a squeeze. Not seeing it yet. If tomorrow Oracle opens up bloody red and manages to flip green by end of day, I think you could take a shot at it. But now, no, I can't say that. And if you miss that, then what I will say is, as long as it's over 135, which is essentially this, what was support before, as long as you're over that in the future, then you're probably going to be okay. So this would have to be like this, which means that your entry will look a little bit like that, which is that over 135. Decidedly not bottom fishing in here, because, and the reason is simple. The reason is, if this fails, the chart actually looks a little bit like this, which is in the 80s, which might be incomprehensible, but also, I mean, not saying that's going to happen. You know what I can say? Let's do this. I would have to go, oh my God, this is dumb, but all near-term trend is broken. So what I'm going to do right now is a little something I don't do very often, is I'm going to go from like the chart's inception low, like as low as I can possibly get this, say all-time low to all-time high on the chart, which is, this is not normal, but because it's Technical Tuesday, we're going to try something here. Let me try and grab this. You don't need, actually, let me get that out of the way. You got a lock. Okay, got it. Now this is interesting, dude. I did not expect to see this. So what I just did was I took the all-time low to all-time high pricing, and that leaves me, I really did not expect to see this. Okay. With support literally between 132 and 121. Interesting. So, I mean, what is that? 121.14. Yeah, so this actually supports what I was thinking, is if we have something like this, you can have a little bit of a bounce. This is saying to 172. Actually, that's exactly what I could see, but I don't even know that you need to front run this right now. I think you're very close, and this is probably what we would call hopefully a liquidity grab. It's just a phrase, a trading term. Scared money ahead of some kind of catalyst. But if this is below 120, like sustained, yeah, I would.
I think the streets.
I don't know what to say.
I think the streets also upset about the. They know they're going to get diluted by another 40 billion pretty soon.
Oh, I don't know. I don't follow Oracle that close, honestly. The only thing I need, to me, Oracle is ultra tied to OpenAI, which I don't know if that's good or a bad thing, a good or a bad thing. Also, it's kind of like the NeoCloud story all over again. I don't know that they're going to make money, and revenue is great, but it doesn't mean your stock's going to go up unless you're. I don't look. I don't want to poo-poo on Oracle. I have never really been a big fan. But yeah, I mean, it's close to support. I think you're getting that liquidity grab. Wait for the rug to get pulled. The big flush, the big one. How much
So
are they down today?
Oracle?
2.5%.
Yeah. I mean, they are tied to OpenAI, and we just got a headline from OpenAI. OpenAI plans to release Home Speaker as their first hardware product. OpenAI believes the Home Speaker does not violate Apple's trade secrets.
Bro,
Bullish?
no. Bearish is
Not even a little?
hell. No, God, no.
Wait, so you're on the same train with me that you think the wearables, hardware, AI stuff is stupid?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much effort you've put into it. Well, you didn't even give me the glasses either, by the way. I would have taken them. You have nice glasses. I used to wear glasses until I got LASIK. But there was a point where I had my whole house wired up as like, I'm going to do a smart home, all voice. So, tell it to turn on the lights, tell it to turn on the TV, to change the channel, all by your voice. Dude, it was so freaking fracking complicated. All that gear went in the garbage. I think it was like 10 grand maybe.
I have never used my Alexa for the past 10 years. Never. I've never found a use case for it. I haven't. I've never needed to, hey, what's the weather? It's like you could just click the weather app on your phone and figure it out.
It's not that I'm bearish on the home automation stuff or whatever. What I would say is the reason that my knee-jerk reaction to that is not bullish is that I can ask one simple question. Why? What makes them uniquely positioned to be able to do that? And why is it needed?
Well, it's
nothing makes them unique.
Connected to their LLM. That would be their mode.
Dude,
right?
they can connect their LLM to anybody's hardware. That's not unique.
That's true.
That's decidedly not unique. I'm like, they're trying to solve. It's not even a problem to solve.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, I have my earpods connected to my phone. Let me just talk to that. I don't need you talking back where everybody else can hear me or hear you either. But I don't understand the purpose. You're going to invest money. If the stock was public, it'd probably be down on that.
This is why I think Oracle and Microsoft have also been, they're proxies to OpenAI. And I think you're right. If the stock was public, the market would be like, what the hell is this? Like,
I would not be happy as an investor. I'm not an investor. I mean, I don't know that I would care right now if I was an early investor either. I would just be like, swimming in my money, but I'm not. So it's, so there's that. I don't know. It's just a knee-jerk reaction is probably not bullish. How bearish is it? Probably not that bearish either. But it's just something to think about.
Micron.
The cow. Moo. Do you have a soundboard?
No,
I have a soundboard. It's not plugged in. I got this little one. This is what is this? A Rodecaster Mini. I haven't even connected it yet. But I would like to use a cow sound effect whenever we do Micron. Is a request. If that's okay. No? Fine. Okay, so
oh, that would be fun. Some people would be annoyed, but
yeah, I'm just going. Yeah, what am I doing here? This is hard. We're beyond everything. Also, one of those kind of like, it's the same thing. Like another bearish setup that this actually takes it higher. I'll tell you where. But it's not firing off. Meaning like, there's no trigger to short this stock at all. It's like I think this is healthier than anything else in terms of like, dude, this thing needed time to breathe. This bad boy needed a breather. And it's getting one. And I think that's good. Now it's not going to be, taking a breather forever. I would say between 875 and 820 seems to be support right in this area here, right there. So, and resistance is actually around 1120 right now. There's a little bit of a session gap around 1139 right there that I could see acting as, what was that, 1142? So, I mean, this is, I'll just say, like, decidedly neutral as well. And the more charts that we will go through today, one thing I'm going to tell you right now is that think about what I said at the beginning. SPY, QQQ, sideways. Wait, probably a good time to sell some premium. As we continue going on this list, just listen to how many more times I'm going to say the same thing. Micron, one more time. Neutral, decidedly neutral. Probably something's coming soon, right in the middle between support and resistance. Support 821, resistance closer to 1150. Honestly, if you took those strikes and you sold a $1,200 call and you sold an $800 put, my gut is that you would bank for the next, week or so. But it's the rest of this week in through, as we get through earnings, we'll have to see. It's toppy, but it needed a break. It's taking a rest, and that's probably a very good thing for the stock.
So, okay, the can you explain SK Hynix then, and can we go to that ticker? Because how do you explain, if these are all pegged to each other, why this one's outperforming so well?
So first of all, I think SK Hynix is, it's one day, right? An IPO at 170 or whatever. Watch this. I'm gonna put some TA on this bad boy. Bam, bam. My sound effects today, dude. Told you I'm in a good one right now. But listen, why does it say SK Hynix at 887 billion? Is that right?
No, because it's 10 for one. So you're on the right thing. It's 1080 ADRs are one share.
No, market cap. This says it's under $1 trillion.
Because it's split by 10. Because 10 of SKHY is one SK Hynix. So technically it's $1 trillion.
Technically, you lost me at 887 billion is what I'm showing in yesterday.
Oh, it was 887? I thought you said one. It should be 1.4 trillion.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So SK Hynix is the most expensive. I think this specifically ADR is probably gonna go. What is it? Three zeros, 2 6s. No. Oh, that was 1 2 3 6 6. There it is. SK Hynix. Boom. Kospi. In Korean won, that is 1.57 trillion.
Yeah.
Wowzers. In Korean won. Here's your perspective. Right. So this is the nearly 2 milli Korean wons. Am I saying that right? This chart is the exact same chart of Micron. Literally the exact same chart that we just saw. So all I'm looking at right now is that the US ADRs are actually probably trading at a slight premium to the actual stock of SK Hynix because US investors were not able to buy it before. So I think it's a little bit of a fake pump. A lot of times, I believe TSM actually does the same. So like TSM, the ADR, this is ADR, right? No, TSMC. TSM, oh God. There is an ADR. I think this is a Taiwan. And then I think the ADRs here.
TSM in general, TSM should be the ADR.
Yeah. I'm not getting this.
Yeah,
anyways.
TSM is the ADR itself.
Yeah. I actually think this ADR trades at a premium, slight premium to the other ticker as well. But anyways, that's all I can say here. If you compare this to actual SK Hynix, which is 3 zeros, 2 6s, and then another 0. Look, this is what you get. The stock is up 3% today. You're literally just seeing a small little premium on the US ADR. And I think it's just a bit of a FOMO, like, oh, I can finally buy it.
But a 50% premium is not a small premium, right? That's
I don't think it's 50%. I think it's more like 10% or less.
but
But
no, it's 50%. It's probably more now that it went up.
no, I don't think my 8 point something billion is accurate market cap. I think it's
Your shit's not accurate. It's 50%.
no. Yeah, I don't think that was accurate. I think it's about a 10% premium right now. But anyways, yeah, I just think it's hype, quite frankly. It's an ADR.
Yeah, the Korean version of it is 137 US dollar. The Korean version should be 137 USD.
Mm-hmm. Should be.
Okay, so but do you think Micron and SanDisk catch up with the hype, or that's purely a SK Hynix thing?
I think it's purely an SK Hynix thing. Again, SK Hynix is well, if Samsung were to release a US ADR, I think they would get the same thing. Does Samsung have
They do
No,
not.
they don't.
There's actually rumors about that this morning that they might.
Yeah, I think that they probably will. And the thing is, like, I honestly, and I'm almost out of time. I honestly thought that SK Hynix and DRAM would actually get a bit of a bounce ahead of this, right? Because you look at DRAM, in theory, DRAM should be up like a near equivalent percent because of how much they hold of SK Hynix.
Right.
But it's not. So today's move in SK Hynix, specifically the ADR, is that premium coming into the ADR. Is that quick FOMO? I don't think it's real.
Okay, Rocket Lab.
Does it mean it goes down? Not necessarily. One of the two is going to catch up, but they'll blend out eventually. Just like Google, and Google with no L and Google with an L. Like, why are they different prices? Okay, so the Lava Rocket 7786 is the number. It's a nice little level off of the 200-day SMA right now, which is that little red line. I know I have a lot of lines on these charts. We've just been doing this for so long now. It's not the number, actually. It's a number. Support on this bad boy, I'm going to have to tell you, is closer to 60s on this one.
Ew. Are you sure?
Am I sure that that's support? Yeah, I'm sure that's support.
Can you take out the magnifying glass and look twice?
Yeah, I can do that. I mean,
60?
yeah. Well, so here, I'm not saying it's going there. I'm just telling you what's going on. So I'm just reporting, dude. Don't shoot the messenger. So
dude, that's the most fun of this. We get to shoot the messenger when you say something bad.
Okay. So technically, when you measure like a retracement, you want to go from like the extreme low to extreme high on a general move. So this is the one move I'm looking at right now. This should have held at 93 and almost, I could almost say at 103 as well. So if this is the move that we're talking about, this guy right here, from here to here, 50% line is about 103, and the technical retrace is about 93. Now we're decidedly below both of those. So what that means is that this technical retrace, it's not retracing. It's basically gone all the way back down. Support is this whole area. I'm gonna have to do the same exact thing on Rocket Lab that I actually did on Oracle, which might not be the worst thing ever. But going back to inception here, all-time lows to all-time high. Now I have these lines. So 70, look at this. Weirdest thing ever, right? So 77.29 ends up being a perfect 50% retrace from all-time low to all-time high. Now, is that a like super critical spot? No, it's actually not. It's a general run-of-the-mill type retracement. It's nothing to write home about. But what that does mean is that if it holds, great, it's all good. If it doesn't, then support is basically going to be around this same little wick spot before, which is closer to 60. So that sets up a trade that looks like this. It's not anything to freak out about, but that's it. And then maybe it can come back up, but on its way back up, it's going to have to get back over any way you slice it, 77.30, which happens to be, I get a lot of confluence. Again, the 200-day simple moving average, whatever, this whole general support with we had like tons of trading in here. You're going to hit this like whatever volume profile. That's all I can see. This little on the right-hand side, that's volume. So yeah, this is the general area, but anything below 77 down to 60 is actually where, if you're looking for a real nice dip, that's about where it's going to be. So if it's not right here. So right here is nice, but it doesn't have to be the low. The next level of support is in the 60s. And then moving forward from here, what we have to get through. So that's support. From here, assuming this holds, let's say, resistance still remains 116 to 128 in this area. So let's say if it does get over the 20-day, you can get a bounce like this, but that's where I would be way more cautious than optimistic, right in this kind of area. So the 20-day is this white line here. I'm going to use purple or pink and just kind of like show you. My gut is that that's going to kind of level out like that. And then this is the blue line. You're going to get like this. And at some point, this might cross. I wish I had an eraser. Here's your 200-day simple like this. And so this is what we're looking for all those SMAs to actually cross and start to expand. But all that said, one more time, this is in the process of bottoming. If you want to go ahead and sell some $60 puts and sell some $130 calls, this guy is primed for some premium juicing. And yeah, it looks great to me for some more sideways chop, because that process of recovery here is going to be a while. This does not look like a V-shaped recovery unless we have something crazy, some kind of headline.
It feels like the hype to the 150s then was pure SpaceX fueled momentum, and it, just didn't play out fully.
Yeah, I had a chart somewhere.
By the way, Spain officially is going to the finals, and they will either meet Argentina or England soon.
Wow. I was doing something on, I was going to do a chart, but I didn't. I'll just do it this way. This is IBM, and just stop me when I go too long. But super long-term chart, it actually doesn't look bad. This is a weekly chart, and I'm zooming way out here. We got like the 90s. This goes to like the 70s. This is literally the 2000s. Quite frankly, this chart doesn't look horrible as a chart, like as a standalone chart. But what you're talking about in terms of the pull forward and the multiple things like that, just to explain this just for a minute, right? This company literally peaked revenue. It was peak revenue for this company. Oh, let me change the settings. I don't know why that's going on. Peak revenue for this company right here, 2011s, right in there. And so since then, this company has gone down. Literally since this point in time, has gone down in revenue, net revenue, ever since. But why did the stock go up? So it's pretty simple. Right around here, they actually spun off a piece of their failing businesses called Kyndryl, and kind of like manipulated the balance sheet a little bit. There was a lot of buybacks, but that's not actually what's happening. Then they got that crazy dividend that everybody touts about on IBM, but the company never did any better. And what happened was that the multiple expanded on IBM during this period of time. The company did not do better. In fact, the company was doing worse. And oh, here you go. There you go. Kyndryl spinoff 2021, peak revenue like 110 billion, 2011. Again, over here, 2011. It's a multiple re-rating. And so what's coming down on IBM right now is literally the safe haven multiple that your dividend is safe, which probably not. And so all that money is kind of like deflating out of this guy. But to Rocket Lab, it's like the excitement, it's like this is the place to be. All of those things we saw it on Hood, Palantir, whatever. The multiple can get up there, and it's just a sentiment thing. And you always ask me, was it real? So, or then what do you say? It's like, oh, so it was fake. I'm like, well, no, it's not fake. I mean, it actually happened, but is it justified? I mean, it's a multiple re-rating. That is how stocks move. It's one of the main reasons why they move. And that's like literally it. It's not wrong. It's just what it is.
Okay. Palantir
She had a good day today, huh?
was one of the software names that really did well.
Well, Microsoft IGV as a whole did actually pretty well. Do you want to keep this on 5 or do you want to change this?
Yeah, let's go to like 230. Yeah, but Salesforce, Adobe, like all the the whole stack didn't move.
Fair enough. Oracle went down. It's fair. Like we've been saying on Palantir, it's in a bit of that kind of like price discovery range. So Palantir, you'd have to go back. The timestamp that you made, or the playlist that you made, is not public, huh? For Technical Tuesdays, it's private. So he keeps it, just so you guys know, keeps them all for himself. He's so selfish. He doesn't want to share. He doesn't want to share the old charts. But I'm pretty sure this is exactly what we're kind of saying would end up happening. You're still at 135 or very close. 135 to 143 is kind of like this upside resistance of this area right here. That said, the chart is not bearish. It's also not bullish. It's in what we would call range expansion right now. Again, this is that existing prevailing downtrend. It's going to the top of the existing downtrend. You might be able to see it a little bit better that way. And so what this means is that, well, you could still get this extra push that way. That's actually exactly where I just drew that resistance area. And even if it gets a little bit higher, it could do that. In this instance, I actually think it could get up to maybe making a slightly higher high. But literally right here is where I would be way more cautious than optimistic, because you don't want to see this losing that area, because that setup is it's a more complicated technical setup, but it is, once again, a lot of chop, a potential situation where the stock might be bottoming, but the caveat of bottoming is a process, and inside that process can sometimes take months. So this one more time, primed for some premium selling, probably close to that $100 level or thereabouts. Even you probably even go tighter for a little while, like 120s, 115s, and then sell some like 160s calls on the upside. Either way, but this one, I think premium selling is the way to go on this guy. The directional bet is going to be kind of like hit or miss. You're going to have a very explicit day trading system. If you do, you'll be able to see it. But right here, right now, that's resistance. So you don't want to press it. You want to buy calls at support and buy puts at resistance. This is resistance, but it's holding resistance. We'll see if it can get through tomorrow.
So it would probably need earnings to 140, 150 kind of to get
very much so. Yeah, and like you can get not even 140. So I think earnings to 165 actually. I think pre-earnings you could actually get to that 140. I don't think it needs earnings to get there. I think it could get there literally tomorrow. It's earnings that will have to be the only thing that can take it out of this range is if earnings, can actually push it through. But the setup here is that this will likely be closer to that 160 level before earnings or literally on earnings. And the risk becomes coming all the way back down to 120 on earnings after the report on the print.
Okay. Robinhood.
Hoodie. Dude, so she held this 108. It's super constructive, but again, I don't want to get over my skis. Guess what, guys? Dead center range, no touch. Hold, neutral to bullish. It's no trade. Wait, if this loses kind of like 108, sure, this can pull back a little bit, but I want to see what she's got. Like I said from the gate, there's going to be a lot of this bottoming process right now. That is a process. If this pulls back, what I'm talking about is basically holding that sub 90 level. And I think that would be ideal, but super bullish. If this holds 108 after like through earnings, that's gonna be crazy bullish to me. If after earnings this is over 123, we're very likely going to see this could see 133 post earnings. Actually, if it's over that, this is just a big long. If that happens, and that's a $240 something stock next if it continues on.
I think the numbers are also freaking amazing for Q2. Trump accounts. I mean, like for this thing to get a real pop to 130, I feel like this would be the quarter that it does it.
I think we're
you couldn't say the same last quarter, right? Last quarter we all knew it was going to be a struggle.
I didn't know, dude. You're the one that knows. I mean, you're the one with the crystal ball.
I was dead on. I missed my numbers by 2%, but it was to the downside. So like it was a bad quarter, right? It just wasn't that good. This time I'm like, I think we're going to beat by 10 or 15% actually.
Yeah, I could see 133 instantly after earnings. And look, from the 70. So this is what I'm talking about. This right here is where a lot of stocks are. SoFi, Palantir, they're coming out of the very end of this, right? Big old base. But first of all, the process of this is almost 4 months, right? And then to come out of that, the process of coming out has been kind of like somewhat choppy for another 60 days. So, dude, patience is a virtue here. This is so good, but I don't want to get greedy. I don't want to get caught resting on my laurels or whatever as a trader. I took trades, option trades, just to add a little leverage somewhere around here, one of these two. And then I sold some here and I sold some up here, and I only have a very little bit left over that if it takes a nosedive on me, I can't lose money now. But the trade into the 120s is mostly over, and now you kind of just want to see how she goes. So this looks good, but it's a hold. Buy on a dip. It's all a buy on the dip and weary of some rips. I'm kind of feeling boring today, but that's all I have on hoodie. The market is very, very neutral. And then as we go through, some of them are more neutral than others. Yeah, Dylan, I know rest on my laurels, but I don't know run through a brick wall.
It's a saying. It is a saying. Let's do CoreWeave and Iren real quick. Then let's move on. We could do both at once. But I imagine you think they're the same as Nebius in terms of sentiment.
Yeah, like so CoreWeave very close to like it's on support. It's on support. It's just clearly there. It's actually slightly lower, but real support is in this lower bound. Are we at $70 now? Get out of here. 79.
79, yeah.
I think it's just it's the NeoCloud story. I think they're worried about more dilution. Rightly so, actually. But right now, the interesting part about that is it's not really, it's just a guess. And so if there's no dilution, there's no dilution, and the companies are doing well. Yeah, they're all backlogged. Everybody knows that. The thing is that there's not this is, I think you stay the course, another hold. If I were to take a trade on this, guess what I would do? I would probably sell some like $70, $65 puts and some $120 calls at the same time and slap it in this box because I think that's exactly where it's going to live for a while. So neutral, but at least this one closer to support than resistance. But yeah, it's not breaking out anytime soon, and there could be a little bit more downside to come. But I think you get a relief bounce before earnings, which this one doesn't report till mid-August, so probably not till closer to the end of the month.
And Iran?
Iran does not look like the others. This one actually looks worse. I think I did this one. I already did this one from the lows. Is that locked? Yeah. So from the lows, because all this pullback stuff is broken, to the all-time highs up here. Yeah, this resistance holding, this has to get over 40 like immediately. Well, it doesn't have to do anything. It does whatever it wants. But if it cannot, this has got a 3 handle on it for support. That's where support is in this area, around $30. But right now it's not. You don't have a trigger to say that that's happening. What has to happen is like you get slightly below this, which is, let me zoom in for you. You have a bottoming process. You have these little wicks here. So it's not closing below whatever that is, 37.5. If we get an intraday trade, something like this, boom, boom, then expect that in short order, probably when the bottom falls out. But that's likely the low in here. Otherwise, this can invalidate because that's not a live trade yet. It's not a short. If this does that, honestly, I would wait to be a little bit more. I would wait till I saw that 45 high gets broken, taken out. If that 45 high can get taken out by a push to the upside, and then it locks a higher low. This is price action. I would take it there. But I'm a little far away from that also. So decidedly neutral. Hate to say it. I told you there's not going to be a lot of charts to take action on. But it's a great time to sell some premium.
Okay, let's get to 1:30 on the clock. We will now take audience requests. I already see a lot of pickers. If you are not following, by the way, if you were in Jason's webinar last week, put it in the chat.
If you made money already, put in the chat from the webinar.
Dude, there was a story today.
Oh my God.
So in South Korea, they don't have guns, right? So most of the crime happens with knives. And a South Korean YouTuber was stabbed from his followers because they lost money on a stock pick.
I believe that. Oh,
So when you guys see me in person, just remember Palantir and Hood. And when you see Jason in person, just remember whatever TA he's giving.
can
you.
I tease something? Speaking of picks, stock picks,
Yeah, go ahead.
can I? So Amit saw this, but we're working on a little something fun.
Ooh,
A little
there you
something.
go.
Don't tell the team. But you know how we did the stock picks? We made it so that we're already testing it. It's live in the server. The server's free if you want to play around. But yeah, Graham went and he went crazy. Build your own portfolio. Every player 100K stakes. It's portfolio.schoolofgains.com with dashes in between the
Wait,
words.
is it live? Can people check it out already?
They can check it out, but you cannot enter right now because
Okay.
there's a contest going on. Rach is in the chat. She's sitting at number 3 for the founders round. Congrats,
Ooh.
Rach. But the way it's going to work is like you can go through. Sorry, your cat's here. You can see what they're doing. They don't have to do like equal allocation. Here's Graham. I think some of them, like you can change percent rules, but it's in testing mode right now. There's Connie. Let's see what Connie grabs. Connie's on. Sorry, guys. I put in. So you don't have to. So it's you pick whatever you want. Weight it however you want. And he did it. We did it as max positions 20, minimum market cap 2 billion, max position 25% weighting. That's it. And we're just going to test it out a week at a time, or 1 week right now, and then we'll probably bump it to a month, and we might be able to run.
You can basically have multiple competitions every month, essentially. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because we could do a year long, because then, you know, we start a competition, then you come in and you're like, whoa, you have to wait a year. Like, okay, that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
But anyways, that'll be free.
Yeah,
Looks fun. I mean, it'll be fun.
Yeah, and again, Jason's Twitter you can follow right there. The reason I brought up the South Korean news is more so because it's obviously sad, but it's because the leverage in South Korea is getting that intense, where it's like, because people are following so much more news about the stock market, you know, you're never supposed to fully follow what any random person tells you, but there's so much leverage in the system. We talked about in the morning, 360,000 accounts were liquidated on Monday because Kospi was down 9%. And so that's kind of scary, because when there's that much leverage, you know, people go kind of like, America's used to that type of leverage. We've been through these cycles. Kospi has never had this much leverage. And it just goes to show that SK Hynix and Samsung kind of got to not shit the bed. You know?
Yeah, it's weird too. I mean, with the ADRs coming in, honestly, I said this on my Monday stream to the chat, but I was like, you know, I don't know if you get this a lot, but I had someone text me, a friend text me a screenshot of one of their friends that bought a bunch of SK Hynix, the ADR. And it was, dude, this is dirt cheap, $170 per share. Micron's $1,000. I'm not. Why are you laughing?
Because that's how a lot of people think. Like,
I'm not joking, dude. I honestly
dude,
think
people do not associate cheap with market cap. They associate cheap with how much
they literally look at that. And so I'm like, dude, one more reason, maybe, you know, newly listed ADR, it's getting a bit of a premium, but Micron is 4 digits per share. SK is dirt cheap.
Well, that's also why in America, there's so much more personal accountability. You know, your gains are your gains, your losses are your losses, but that's the culture in the US. You don't blame other people. You take accountability, and hopefully everyone gets to win together. In other countries where they're just like, dude, Kospi's been flat for 6 years outside of the past 7 months. It's been flat for 6 years. So when you get that much money in 7 months and it invites that much leverage, it also creates, you know, a lot of headwinds for how the general public thinks about investing.
I will say, like I don't think it's, you know, you and I might laugh at it, or I might even blast somebody on it. Like, well, quite frankly, like I had it because it's a friend. Of course, I'm actually a dick in real life, but like, you know, as a friend, I'm like, I'm immediately like, dude, you're an idiot. Stop it. But like, dude, you know, the thing is, people literally think that way. Like it's very real. So I just thankfully, you know, you and whoever are here, me, etc. But yeah, make no mistake, guys, SK Hynix is the most expensive across the board.
Okay, let's get started. Rapid fire AMD.
Scotty, no, we gotta go to the but Scotty with the super chat.
Yeah,
Right,
we did IBM rewind, and you can see.
We did not do IBM.
Oh, we did. You spent 5 minutes on it. Dude, you spent 5 minutes on it. What are you talking about?
It wasn't price action.
Okay, well, we can do
Okay,
IBM
what about
later.
AMD? Actually, so looks good, like really good. And I think chips in general, like CPU chips, Intel also looks like it's gonna have a little go. So this area is the very top. So what I'm looking at right now is I'm actually looking at a bit of a consolidation. Oops, from here down to here. And if I pull this across, today I have exactly what I'm looking for. Today I'm looking at a single full candle. I had one before. I have a second one. Kind of have one over here. So today might be the day where if I get 1, 2, 3, we start going higher from here. She's into that $1 trillion marker. Looks like she's pulled back a bit, but she's trying, dude. I think you open up over 540 245 tomorrow, she can have a go at it into the back half of the week for a 6 handle on this bad boy. And I think that's the $1 trillion market cap, right? Let me do IBM for our boy just really quick. So you're at the 200 week SMA. You usually want to give this guy, usually if there's a bottoming process. Now, I'm no fan of IBM, but what I will say is that from a chart perspective, you should at least go slightly lower, and you probably breach 200 for a little bit, and then you want to give it a couple weeks to breathe. This is a structural, cultural issue for the company. 25 years of smoke screens and circus acts unraveling. But 209 down to 170 is your support. All right, I'm done. Next,
Broadcom.
I think this goes into the NVIDIA bucket, where the mega caps are actually going to catch a little bit of a bid first. Actually Broadcom more constructive. Again, not even kind of a breakout, but what I'm looking at is I'm looking at something that's bouncing up off of 357 support, right? And so this is exactly what I want to see. Up, down, pullback, retest, holding 380. I think you could trade clean off of that 380 support and look for probably 428 upside to potentially 445, at which point I would definitely take measures. The trade is over. But this looks like it's going to make a run into 450. And that type of trade is probably worth it. It's 15% on equity alone. Yeah. 430 to 425 to 450 into earnings. I like this. Watch for higher lows. All right, next. Well, I'm moving. I don't even need a. Who said a minute 30? We're going 1 minute.
Okay, if you think 1 minute's good enough.
I do, but now I can't.
Look at that. Look at that. You started bragging about your flow state.
Whatever.
Now we're stuck.
Dang it. Dang it. All right. I have so many lines on these charts. Hang on. Reset. So breakout, retest, cool. All right. Let me get my bearings. 211 was one of my levels right now. We're holding. So as long as 211 holds, hold my beer. Like 211, the beer. Do you remember that? No?
It's a phrase, you know, like running through a brick wall.
Yeah. As long as that holds, like this area consolidating up to 250s is what I have on our chart already. If it loses 211, there's a little gap here. If it loses 211, then you're looking at a 180s to 170s. Your next level of support is in this area down here. But again, that would be the process. Stuck in the middle. I think if you sell this 170 put and you sell this probably like 280 call, you probably that's the layup. But yeah, this is a watch. I think a couple days sideways, and then next week, if it's holding, then you can take a trade into the 260, 270 area. Next.
Corning.
GLWs. Same thing. It's all a watch. So 187 was kind of like the general area. This is general resistance. This whole white box is consolidation, is a consolidation. 177 comes from, I did the stupid button. 177 comes from over here and this consolidation break. So as long as it's holding that area, all of this is technically it's a retest. And from this breakout, like resistance is over 195. So this is, again, very sideways coming into the print at the end of July. This can go higher unless it's over 215, which is this high. You're still going sideways. So in order to get to 215, you have to get over 195. If the stock is holding over 195, cool. Then you have essentially two trades available. You have this trade right here. It's 195 to 213. And if it can continue on through 213, then you can take this to 245. And I think that actually does happen. But one thing I'll note is that Corning as a personality, you take these kind of sideways action moments, and it does this a lot. So this is, from here, I don't know, it's 2 months, and it's, I think, characterized by this session gap that happens like right in here. 2 months, it finally breaks out. And did we get another one? And then we get another session gap right here. Watch this. And then we get another couple months from here to here. 68 days finally goes through. And right now, I have the beginnings of another one right here. So I think that happens, but I think you need to be patient. And we are only 13 days into what should take us 60 days to fill that gap. If the characteristic of this setup repeating itself once, twice, 3 times, it would be another after earnings. Plus options, because I'm an option trader after this big move, dude, they're crazy expensive.
Reddit.
O2 Hundy, look at you, right into that first level of resistance. Nice. So this is the first. What is this? Unnecessary. This is also unnecessary. So I'm trying to clean this up. Takes me a bit to clean up.
Actually traded this one today and yesterday.
Nice. So if this can hold the 200, look, all of this, you broke down. Remember this stop from over here was from this area. If this can hold over that area, which is about 184, if you were short, very simply, if you were short here, you're no longer short and you're getting long, meaning like you're covering, you're buying your stop. So this 185 is your support. Over 201, you go to 205 or 225 right there. That's higher level overhead resistance right in here. So resistance is literally right here up to 225. Support 183. Stuck in the middle. But having had a pretty big move off the lows, what is that? Dude, yeah, up 70% from the lows, dude. Yeah. Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
It was at 142 in March or in May.
It's a great move. Congratulations.
I think earnings are going to be really good for Reddit as well. SoFi.
I like SoFi. So all of these, I think, you could go way longer than, I normally would. These are all either short-term premium or very patiently waiting leaps. Not on something like a Corning because that's too expensive after the big moves. But SoFi has not made the big move yet. It's a little erratic, like jumpy. But this is a leap setup on SoFi, no question to me. This should be able to see just over 20. But from there, that's a different question. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so, whoa. This guy having held, as long as it can hold from here on out, 1705. I don't want to SoFi below 1705. That would actually break this structure at this point in time. So she's over the hump. She's over the hurdle. She needs to stay over the hurdle. Basically, no more pullback, Sophie. Done. You need to go, and you need to go pretty much now. And you need to go straight to $20.67. And then you need to really not stop and possibly push to 23. Then you can stop and then pull back down to 20 again. That would be good. And then chop sideways and then decide what you want to do. But this sets up for a post earnings pop into the 23s as long as it holds 17. Next.
Sorry, I was muted. Qualcomm.
Oh. She's right there. She's literally on it. I'm like, I think she can get into the 170s. She needed to get through 190. I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened, but 190 is resistance. She opened up at 190. Like that is about it's not even the 20-day. I don't want to see this much lower. I can see 170. That's okay. I think the trades, again, this one sets up as a much longer Marvell 2.0. I love Qualcomm. If you don't own it, I think that if you can get this around 170, it's probably a beautiful pickup long term, but I don't think you want to be in a rush on this guy either. It can even see 165. The issue here for me is that after the big old, dog and pony show, we have earnings at the beginning of the month. If they don't show good momentum, which I don't know that they will, they should. They'll be able to talk about some really good stuff, but will it be on the balance sheet? That I don't know. Either way, I think it's a buy. So, but it might have a little bit more downside to go. Little bit, not enough to worry about though. I think hold with patience. How's that?
Nokia.
Probably the same. She
Qualcomm
really
actually
tried. Oh.
Nokia and Qualcomm have kind of had the same chart movement, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, huge winners for sure. I mean, Nokia actually a little bit more so. But at the end of the day, I think this is normal sentiment coming into an earnings report. Qualcomm at this point doesn't have any pull forward. I think you're get a justified pull forward on Nokia, and not pull forward, multiple re-rate. Sorry. I think this is okay, actually, dude. If this can get back over 12 like immediately, which I kind of like this. I kind of like this one.
The option flow is still stupid on Nokia.
I didn't think I was gonna like this much. Hold on. Can we scope out a trade?
I mean, dude, if AEHR is going up 30% after hours, like
I think AEHR sets a precedent from here.
it sets a precedent for a lot of the AI trade.
Yeah.
30% is no joke.
Don't yell at me. I like this. What's your favorite pattern here? It's got the thing. 1, 2. I mean, pretty much right there, right?
You're saying the double bottom.
Is it close?
I mean,
Just
it's pretty
saying. It's jumping out at me. It's jumping out at me. I like it. And it's at a critical level. So what I would say is, I think between over 1176 from right this moment up to 1212 by the morning is nearly a given. That's like 3%. That's not the trade. If it's holding over 1215 and ultimately over 1270, this is on the mend. So again, really, this setup says sell some 1050 puts. That's what the setup says to me. Because it's going to be a process either way, because this setup would go up into resistance, potentially into 14s, but then you're expecting it to back into 12, 13 bucks again, at which point you'll hope to see like that start to base out. And this is the process of building that little bowl, but move 1, then sideways, then potentially move 2, then likely moves 3, then a couple of those, and then eventually like that. But that's like Q4 type setup here. So you have to be leaps, or you can sell some short-term premium. I one more time, I think this looks great to sell premium.
Oklo.
When is this report? July
Nokia,
23rd.
Yeah, and end of July.
you can't even get a lot of juice on this. I mean, it's not even worth selling any. Where's the juice? The juice isn't worth the squeeze at all. Why? Sorry. Juice is decidedly not worth the squeeze. All right. What was it?
Oklo.
Fastly? Oh, Oklo. Do we get any super chats?
No, we've got a lot of people that want Oklo.
Really? Can I ask the chat why?
You can ask whatever you want. I don't know if you're gonna
Will I
love
be able
the
to get an
answer.
answer? Juice.
I feel like you're judging them for Oklo.
No,
Already?
I'm really trying to read it.
Dude, people believe in nuclear. They want to see. If the
Wait, I
thing-
thought there was a lot. I lost 40% on fast air. That's why I'm reading. Oklo is FOMO. Double bottom. Okay. So I think you could trade off of that. Were you the one that came up with the, all right, I'll start the clock now. With the nickname for this one? Who came up with that?
What's the nickname?
Oh, you don't have the nickname. The nickname is Oak No.
I did not.
You did
come up with
not?
that nickname.
It's a good
I
one
did
though.
not.
Huh?
It is.
Oak
I
No.
mean, so far, it is a good one. That's correct.
So okay, so from all general points of view, this is a no. But it could be a dead cat bounce if and only if this little, like, that's what you have to trade off of. Even if I were to take it from here, it's also a no. Yeah, there's no pullback. It's beyond all repair from a technical pullback perspective. So that's the biggest concern. So any bounce would just be this sentiment shift. I think Oklo, like SMR stuff, it's tough. You would only have this, which brings you to 38. So in this area between 38 to whatever that is your saving grace, maybe 38.59 if it breaches. Otherwise, you can get another bounce, but it's up to 59 roughly. Yeah. You can get a tradable bounce to there, give or take. But that's it. Maybe it's worth
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Terrawolf.
Which one is that? Is that with the O or U?
The U.
With the U. Closer. Oh. This is a low float. So one of two things is going to happen. A low float, meaning like it's very easily open up at $17 tomorrow and then close at 20. That can happen on a stock like this. Between 17 and 14 is support, and this is derived from all of that trading over here. That's where your support is. Right now, this is going to try and come in and retest these two general areas. So like I was saying, if this can get out, that's great. Doesn't have to stop there on a dime. Right now, you are on this pivot, 1860. So closer to the bottom than the top, no doubt. The setup is, again, one more time, to sell downside premium around here, but also to sell upside premium around there. Bounce would have to get you over 21 and a quarter. It's not tradable. It's you could take a shot, but you'd be getting lucky if you made money here. It's not a technical setup that I can speak to. Like, meaning you want to be very careful, because if you have that that's all well and good, but that would a lot of times sets up for this, just another lower high. So you really want to wait for this to be a little bit higher. Next, 22 and a quarter, then you get to 23 and a half. Otherwise, sub 17 is support.
Let's do a couple of the max sevens, then we'll go back to semis. Let's do Google and then Amazon.
Slapple. Googs. The Googs. She's good. So the process of bottoming looks good. So here's my top. Here's my general consolidation. The lows, I like this look here. I actually like this to come back up to the high end of this, and that whole thing is going to be a very nice little setup. I have so many lines I'm going to need to delete some here. But it's looking very constructive. So 2 measurements, one from this extreme low to this extreme high, this 340 level, 50% mark. So as long as it's holding over 340, you're on the mend, which means that this can actually technically come back. If I made that even more granular, I could do it one more time. And when I do that, I think that makes this even slightly more bullish. Probably should have taken this trade today. I missed it. It's all good. This bounce to me takes you into 370, possibly 379 quickly. I like this. I would watch this tomorrow immediately out of the gate as an immediate trader, but that's it. If I see 380, it's gone too far too fast. So it's a nice little trade, but as you can tell, structurally, it doesn't do anything to the stock. And even if it were to come down a little bit, like I said, as long as it's holding 340, it's perfectly fine. Support here, though, is not until you're closer to 320 and the 200-day simple moving average. This is a very near-term momentum bounce at 350. If it holds, it's good for a pre-earnings bounce ahead of the report, like I said, into those 380s, but nothing other than that. Yeah, and again, so I can just confluence here from that high, this pivot, boom, 340, whatever that is. She looks good, and that actually says that she can go up to 387. So she looks like this one looks like a long, but again, the best way to trade this, I would sell some 340 puts and like some $400 calls. I like that. And capture some earnings juice. It's right around the corner. With the other one's Apple. Oh, no, it's Apple. Okay. Amazon.
Dude, people own more Amazon than Apple. We can look at Apple.
That. No.
You want me to do a poll? I can guarantee people own more Amazon than Apple.
Okay, but people,
at least in this chat, people own more Amazon.
In this chat, possibly.
Why would I be talking about the whole world? We're talking about this chat.
Well, because it's a big world out there.
Yeah, but they're not all watching the stream right now.
That's fair. Look, Amazon's channel up, right? I say channel up. Like it's not. There's nothing wrong with this, right? Like there's nothing. That's long term. Plus longer term. I mean, look, I'm fine. There's nothing to do here except stay long, be long. Very near term. Again, I can take this. Look, I'm fine. I like this. That was resistance. It was resistance. Look, we wanted to see this act as support. It's acting as support. This, I mean, this as good as it gets in terms of no, this is not as good as it gets. This is a realistic breakout and retest trade from a very long-term pullback, right? This is, I don't know what this is, 2025? Yeah, 2025. It's great. Hold. Is it ready to go? It's setting up. It's setting up. If you caught that 225, that was an amazing grab, I think, at least near term. As long as it's over 237, you are go. But again, be patient with this one. Over 260, you're really stepping on the gas. And then from here, upside is still the 300. So $300, 300 buckaroos. I still have it on the chart. She lives. Maybe higher. It's about 35% max for the year. Okay, next. Who just did that?
Meta.
Is a super chat. Oh, Matza Mike. Love you too.
That's
Clean
that's your
Spark.
crew?
No, maybe they're all my crew. What do you mean my crew? Are you disowning them? No, it's our crew. Clean Spark got a super chat, so I'm gonna do for you. From All Niner 9876. Dude, did they have news or something? What's going on here? Of all the
They got
Neo
a news this
clouds,
morning.
oh, Bitcoin miners. This is a Neo cloud, isn't it? Did you say you don't have this one? I just saw it as super chat. Anyways,
I don't know why you're dude. You're lagging for me. You're probably good for me. You're lagging, but go ahead and keep going.
$6 billion deal, maybe. Okay, so maybe they got a deal. So from the lows,
No, they
this-
did get it. Yeah, they got a deal this
There you
morning.
go. There you go. From this low to that high. Actually, this 1250 was that that level that you want to watch, and it went into 1359. So this can come back, and as long as it holds that 1359, I think you're okay. If you're going to hold momentum, what needs to happen from here, and I'll just give this to you, where resistance is, if you're going to be a good bull, then you need to know, okay, 1650 is resistance. If we can get through 1650, then it shows up at just under 18. And then an upside target on this would be, what is that? 23s? About 23s. Right in there. Cool.
Yeah, let's finish Max 7 with Meta and Tesla. Then we'll move on.
Meta. Interesting. So Meta's got, so prevailing downtrend. I remember I said this has to get over 650 to have any like potential shot. I think you're fine. Maybe you just don't want to see. You're okay. The one caveat I would say right here, right now, is that today's move is actually exactly what you would want to see, but earnings is coming, so you can't really trust what you see, because it's literally in 2 weeks. That said, this is the downtrend. It's like a couple days out of it. That's the best news. The worst news is that a lot of times it's the first press through is fake. As long as it's holding, I'd say 650, you're okay. And then assuming that this ends up being the low, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go left to right, extreme. This means that 690 is resistance down to 658. So this is right into resistance, and it's like pinned. So it's pinned between that 658 resistance, which goes up to just under 700, literally 699. I think you could be very patient here. Again, if you like it for a long time, that's fine. I just, if you bought it, I think you're okay. I would still say be open to buying it much lower. From a technical perspective, it's a discount. It's just taking a long time, but it's not even 500 wasn't like a massive discount. And here now it's literally at resistance. So this is where you want to be more cautious than optimistic, right in this area, because you don't want to have this happen to you one more time, because the downside on this is actually lower into those 440s. But just to put it all in perspective, I take these off. I need to take this off. My time is up. Oh, that is perspective. To put it all in perspective, when I say it's not a big discount, that's what we're coming off of. It's a very small, look, it's not a big discount, like in retrospect. So it's okay, but it could, that's where we are. You're right at the top. Here's your channel. You're not technically broken out, and one more pullback does put this here, which that would be a big discount. I don't know if we're going to get it, but it's fully intact. The near-term downtrend is about to flip, but you want to be a little bit more patient to see if it actually does or not. Well, we're done.
Tessie and Microsoft.
Tessie. Still kind of neutral on Tesla. Is consolidating. Again, more the same here. Heavy consolidation. Sub 415 is like, if you like Tesla, you really don't want to buy it over 415. I mean, here's like your 415 area, which means that anything in this area is going to be your general support. So lines back on. There they are. Here's your near-ish term uptrend. Here's your support or resistance from 413, 415, whatever. You can see it one more time up here, here, pivot, pivot, pivot. You can pull back a little bit. It's not going to do anything to the chart either way. You just don't want to break down heavily, but it's very far away from breaking down heavily on Tesla. The only reason I say that is because heavily is like, if it breaks down heavily, that looks like that. Which is on the table right now, but it's not happening right now. Also on the table is the opposite, if this can get through and hold. But again, that's a long ways away. So she's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's sell premium both sides.
Okay. Microsoft. So the software had a better day today, right? Yeah, I mean, after the IBM thing, a lot of them recovered.
Yeah. I think it's good to know, to see. It's very much, I think, an IBM specific thing. She's holding. I had this level 350 something as a spot. Like I don't want it to get. This is the same kind of thing as the. This is the same, dude. This is a Palantir setup, which is top city, meaning lower lows here, but also higher highs in the orange box. And so off of this low, I think that's fine. And I just wanted to see it get through. So the next spot is still this 410 area. And then resistance is actually up here to 425. 410 to 425 is resistance. So if this can get through essentially 200-week simple moving average, which is what it's on, I think this can test into that 410. I don't even know if it gets there before earnings or not. Probably on earnings. And I could see 425. This one, Microsoft, I would only sell puts on this guy right now if you wanted to take a trade. I would not sell calls. So this looks like it could get squeezy in short order to the upside, not so much the downside. Downside looks like there's buyers.
Okay.
Elizabeth coming in hot. What is that? INFQ.
Let's do this one before we do the super chat.
Okay.
Let's do TSM because they have earnings.
TSM?
Yep.
Oh, up. I have no idea. It's up. I have no idea. So downside, 395 is the downside. This one actually has not even pulled back really. So 395 comes from this area right here and all of this support right here. So the prior break, if we're measuring a pullback, right? What I have on my chart, the lines are derived from this consolidation area, breakout, retest, continuation, and now you're kind of holding below one of those areas. So 435 to 450 is resistance. If it can get through that, then it's 477, potentially up to 520. But if not, the downside here is 395 to 360. Those are your two downside levels and two upside levels. So upside resistance 445 ish, and then up to 530. Downside 395 down to 350 post earnings if she moves, if she makes a big move. That's probably for the next few months on a range. But again, another one that sets up real nice for some premium selling on this guy.
Okay. INFQ. Thank you, Elizabeth, as well, for the super chat.
I don't know this.
It's a quantum name.
Oh, quantum. I mean, so quantum all looks kind of rough right now, I think, but it's towards the lows. So if you're a quantum trader, yeah, this one is is this a SPAC? That looks like a SPAC.
INFQ, I believe, was a SPAC.
That looks like a SPAC. It's at SPAC pricing.
It was a SPAC, right, guys? I'm pretty sure this is a SPAC. I think IBM getting hit. IBM's the biggest quantum name, right? So that also.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't they sell off after quantum anyways?
Yeah.
For a loss. I think you watch this tomorrow. This can get like a little bit of a pop. A little bit of a pop could be. I cannot say anything long term on this. The chart is not looking good long term. Short term, it looks like it can get a pop, but it's got to show me a whole hell of a lot more. And the trade is pretty defined. What I mean by dead cat bounce on this one, I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now, would be like to 14s, which is like 40% higher than it is here. So that's what I mean by this looks like it could be something nice for a short-term bounce that you could actually make some money on. But even if it gets a big bounce like that near term, I can't really say that this is out of the weeds. And again, I don't have a long-term storyline on this guy either. So I can't really speak to that. But the chart is decidedly neutral. Downside clearly 844, upside resistance 13 to 14 bucks.
Zeta.
She's funny, dude. Elizabeth. Zeta's holding, right? She's this is at resistance 2281 at resistance. So like a few others, software is not, we'll see. So a lot of stuff, this is what I mean. Like we're coming into the heat of earnings season. Some things will look good. Some things will not. Generally speaking, actually the sets up is more sideways chop for the indices, but Zeta specifically, this has to get through. I mean, really it's got to get through 25. It still has 28 on it. And that is still holding. Support is at, it's where it just came off of 1850, but that move is still in process. It's just taking forever. And it's not breaking down. So that's good. Like as long as it's over 18, call it 18 even. This is all good, which might seem like a lot, might not to you. I don't know. Yeah, over 20 is the most bullish, but realistically, you should be able to see 18 and a half, 1830s, and this actually still be intact. So sideways, bullishly neutral.
Bloom.
Unless you think it's going to break out, then you just buy some $35 leaps. Is it going to break out?
I think it should be closer to $30, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Can we buy some $35 leapers then?
Yeah, but it's like, dude, I'd rather buy shares on a lot of these software names. You just don't know, right? Like, what if Anthropic IPOs and a new model and the software is dead again?
Oh yeah, I think that goes to your individual company conviction, right?
Yeah.
Like that's literally. I don't have the conviction on Zeta, but you guys probably do, or other people probably do. I have it on Qualcomm, so I could say decidedly I have a significantly larger equity position in Qualcomm than I do on options. Options I don't really care about that much. Like I have them, but when you're invested in something, it's different. Because you want it for more than 2 years anyways. So, anyways, Bloom is on the cusp, right? So I'm kind of interested here. This one with the short report, you know, I don't know if it's real or not, but it's not breaking down right now, and it honestly should have. So this whole area is actually just one big consolidation. So post earnings is this guy right here. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking from the moment that the market got their earnings, which is about right here. That's, let's call this a break of structure. 230 spot 51. I can actually see that from over here also. Same spot. Happens to be that area. See where I'm getting this. Happens to be exactly right there. As long as it's over this, it becomes pretty interesting to me. Upside resistance is pretty far away, like this. And the way that this is set up is that this can be, Bloom is set up to be a squeeze very soon, but the direction is still undecided. So below 230, there's a big, you can see it right here, gap in volume, which takes you to like 160s. But like I said, this is the, either way, the move is setting up. You just don't know which one yet. This is holding the lows. But directionally, again, it's on support. But something being on support does not mean that it's going up just yet. I don't have that, okay, it's going up kind of moment for Bloom.
By the way, SK Hynix down 5% now after hours.
What did you do? Is Micron down?
I feel like the Korean leverage, if Americans want to start playing that game, go ahead. But man, it's going to be a volatile game.
Yeah, Micron's not.
Micron's not.
It's
SK
ju-
Hynix. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's just the premium coming out. All right, next.
SpaceX.
Oh,
Are you a buyer here as well?
did you sell your share?
Yeah. I sold it the day I got it.
Oh, really?
Made $5, dude.
Dang.
I've
You're not-
traded SpaceX a couple times, but that IPO share, I sold it the day I got it.
You don't want to get any IPOs from the hoodie? You're over it?
No, I'm over it.
Yeah, okay. So no. At 130, there's a at 130, there's going to be a floor. Just like I would actually venture to say at 200 or sub 200, there's probably a floor for Nvidia where they might, want to buy back some stock or something. So this is like 133. It's not much. Also from a technical perspective, I'm getting the same thing, about 130 to 1 around this area. So not that much. I think if that breaks, then you could see 110s, and the resistance is in the 150s up here. So you're yet again kind of, yes, it's in an active breakdown. If this is below 128, look, it's going down. Is it below 128? You're likely going to see the 110s. I don't know where that puts it from a valuation perspective. And then these are the levels beyond that. From a technical perspective, this is $100 is clearly on the map, 89 is on the map, and 73 is on the map. I mean, 30s are on the map, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. But one spot to the next, you'd have to screenshot this because at this point you're very close to hitting the next level at 128. The next big move is if you lose 128, then you get a $10+ flush. And in the meantime, you got to battle with overhead resistance, which is essentially the low at 147, that opening print 149. That's going to be your overhead resistance right now.
Okay. Intel.
A little bit like AMD. 104 was my spot. It's not the highs, but actually I take that. It's not like AMD. I like this one off the lows. So off the lows here, this one looks like it's setting up. I think you could see 113. And then if you can get through 113, that's how you get another retest into this area up here. And this, all of this still stands for 200. It just starts over 135, 140. So for right now, look, this little triple top couldn't get through. It already pulled back, and it already pulled back and stopped at support, which is about literally where it was today. So all of this here, all of that here, and I'm looking at it happen one more time so far. But that said, I don't want to see this below 104. So that also this 104 comes from a very long, a very long breakout retest. So that's coming from 75. If you lose 104, it's a big pullback. So you like to see that holds. Big pullback is 75s or so.
Dude, below 100, I feel like would be pretty ugly.
I mean, it's almost like this went from 35 to 75 to 120 to 160. 140.
Yeah.
It's almost like I could take a Robinhood chart and potentially put it, overlay it, and they would look somewhat similar. So that said, you just don't want to see this lose, right? Like that, it's right on it. It's right on it. So below that, cool. That's what you should expect. But you know what? That ain't happening before earnings. There's no shot to me that happens before earnings. That would be dumb for this to happen before earnings. Earnings is right around the corner. It's not going to happen unless it's an earnings catalyst thing. But it's very possible that happens on earnings, or that it goes to en route to 200. That's more gamble.
Amcor.
I think I like it. Sorry.
What are you eating? We want to eat too, bro. What are you eating? Hold on. We got to see this. Fig bar.
Nature's Fig bar. It was the boy snack.
But the boy didn't eat it. You're
No,
eating it.
leftover. This looks fine. I think like holding 65, it's almost a lot of the AI trade, picks and shovels AI trade, kind of did this like, oh, we're gonna break out. They were on their way to breaking out, and yeah, we get a big fail. They come back, they retest the lower end of support, and they're all doing the same kind of thing, bottoming. With earnings though, right around the corner, it's not going to break. They're not. That's what I'm saying. Across the board, I don't think we're breaking down. I don't think we can break down. Why would you break down ahead of earnings? Like, no. But are we going to break out? Also, no. So not until we see earnings. So yet again, for those reasons, I think we're very neutral. And I think it's a very good market to start selling some premiums.
ServiceNow.
Unless your name is Oracle, then you're moving. There are very few that are actually moving, but ServiceNow, meow, is again not going to break down before earnings and not to break out ahead of earnings. 110 is the pivot on Oracle. Oracle on ServiceNow. I think that we covered this before. Yeah, so I have to go to a very far back. We'd have to go back into the way back machine, about 110, right? And so this is this area right there. You see, like we tested it like just recently, but it's not a breakout market. Like this is not a market where I want to buy a breakout right now. We're pulling back, and I feel like this is more of what we're going to see. almost like we're coming off of a fake out pullback, and then we're going to have this again. So like that could do that much, much later. I can absolutely see that happening for ServiceNow. But the truth of the matter is that if this fails any lower, this should set up for your 80 something downside, 60 something, sorry. But it's not happening before earnings.
Okay. T1
Do I
Energy.
feel- Am I sounding bearish? I'm really not trying to sound bearish. I think it's neutral.
I think a lot of these software names are stuck in a range. Like same thing you said on Palantir. Like they're not going to break down before earnings, but
No
they're also
shot.
not-
Yeah, 87. How's that? You can.
I
Hold
think what
87.
helps is a lot of them are fundamentally undervalued, but they're gonna have to put up some big boy numbers on earnings to actually get it. Like they can't put up Adobe type numbers if they want to. Really move higher.
What was the ticker?
T1.
TE. $5 support. This is a support level. So measured from this swing low to that swing high, this area here, literally that's 50%, but the support goes down to just about $5. On the opposite side of the spectrum, from this extreme high to that same extreme low, what you're looking at is actually resistance in this whole area. So one more stock that's stuck in this box between 11 and 5. Again, it's a big box, but trying to pick what direction it's going to go into right here, right now, this very moment, your odds aren't that great unless it's higher. Like unless it's over 7 or 680. When is this report? Oh, in a while. Yeah, if I drop into a daily, you have the beginnings of a little bit of a bounce. But again, my caution here is that this bounce takes you to 890, and maybe as high as 11. But that's it, because at that point, you expect this kind of pullback. And if it's a rough pullback, then it could do all of this before it bounces up yet again, and you're stuck in that exact range.
Okay.
Next.
Beckard, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you being here. Pepsi is what he wants to say.
What is he talking about? Ads? Why are
Dude,
you
for
adding
some
that in,
reason,
dude?
I think, I don't know, people are getting really annoyed at midstream ads, and I've never had them for like 4 years. So
Is it called? It's called midstream. I don't know. Midstream ads. I don't know these things.
I just figured 4 years ago when I started streaming, I'm like, if I'm watching a stream, I don't want a fucking ad to pop up. So yeah, there's no ads in the middle of the stream. But
Oh,
Pepsi.
also, though, like if you're watching a stream like ours, don't you watch a lot of streams? So you should probably have YouTube anyways, right? Premium.
Yeah, but dude, see, it's the most interesting thing. People don't like paying for YouTube Premium.
It's like $2 a month, isn't it?
No, it's like $20 a month. But
Oh, my bad.
I pay it.
I actually pay it, but I don't know what I pay. I have many things I pay for. I don't know what I pay. So I'm one of those don't know.
I'm surprised YouTube doesn't get more people to like, because I don't know. It's one of those things people can't justify paying, but I paid for it for years, to be honest.
I feel like Pepsi is usually an inflation or I want to say inflation. It's usually a dollar thing. So yeah, I mean this looks like it could go a little bit lower. 50. Ooh. Some of these things don't look that hot. What's wrong with this chart? It actually does not look good. What's happening here? Is there I have a question. Is there a problem with Pepsi, the company?
No, but there have been some headlines that I think are making people wonder what's going on with their distribution and logistics. And maybe that's what's caused. I mean, they had earnings on July 9th. They beat on EPS and revenue. Guidance was a little bit light on North America. Operating
This looks
profit
like
miss.
the chart looks like the end of an era. Like legit. Like you don't have a lot more room to find the bottom. I miss the chart. It's making me pause because the chart's telling me that it's screaming at me that I'm missing some piece of the story here. The chart's bearish, and I can't even find the bottom. Like $100, I guess.
No, dude, I mean, that would be a pretty ugly.
That's what I'm saying. I'm missing something because it doesn't make sense. What I'm looking at doesn't make sense. So either it's right now at like 130. Like that's what like it's either right now and this is just all fake and just total nonsense, or there's some kind of core company issue that I'm missing and there's some kind of exodus. I don't know. You know what it probably is?
What?
GLP-1s.
That really be affecting Pepsi? That I mean,
Oh,
that'd
for
be
sure.
incredible.
Like that's exactly who it would be affecting, though, right?
like
Just saying.
theoretically, yeah, but like
Theoretically.
yeah.
So I'm seeing the fear in the stock, but I'm not seeing the stock actually break down. Lily, by the way, actually looks decent. I'm seeing the fear in the stock. I'm not seeing it legitimately break down yet. It's still in its very long-standing upward channel. But look, I'm going to do this. There's this one little line here that usually does not show up. It's called a 200-week simple moving average. Can you see it? You can see it. So this is a
Purple one?
daily. Yeah, purple. I only have one on it. So this is a daily chart. It's going to stay the same 200-week simple moving average. It's very rare that you get a lot of dips underneath this type of area on stocks in general. And see how it kind of like rides it. But look at this.
Wow,
I don't like that.
that's ugly.
See what I'm saying? So like it's weird. It's feeling like it could be one of these moments where you get that pushback, which means maybe a little bit more, but it's got.
Is 2004 the last time it lost that movement? No, 2009.
No, dude. It goes like it's been forever. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, huh. The trend is.
No, but the last time it legit lost it was 2009, at least on the chart, right? Well, 2020 for a second.
Yeah, for a second, right? But it really lost it in 24. And this, what we're looking at is a retest and failure. So that's what I'm saying. Like, structurally, this chart has changed significantly. But, why? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So like you have this consolidation here that I can pull out. So that's your support. It's literally that's support. And so what could happen is that this can easily do that and just reclaim. And then she reclaims and she's all the way out. I don't think this is a cause for concern at this point. I don't think you do anything at this point. Like I said before, at any point in time in the history of most stocks, when you buy stuff this far below their 200-week simple moving average, it tends to be a good buy long term. So I'm decidedly saying that, but it's weird, and it's just telling me that the chart is telling me that I'm missing a part of the story, and I don't know what that part of the story is.
Netflix. But okay,
Yeah, look
before
look at. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's literally touching, right? Yeah, so Netflix has so Netflix obviously has a decision to make. This is a battleground stock. Put in the chat, what do you think happens on earnings, pump or dump? And Jason, before you get into your TA, I'm curious, pump or dump? Do you think this one really saves itself on this 200-week moving average here, or we get hit?
What's the decision?
Pump or dump? Like, do you think it's?
Dump.
I guess Do you think it's below 70 after earnings? Because that would be a dump, right?
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's $73. You're saying if it drops $3.75, it would be a dump?
No, well, hold on. That 70 level has not been breached for 3 years. So yeah, I mean that would. I feel like obviously not a technical dump, but psychologically that'd be ugly for it to lose 70.
I don't know, dude. I still watch my K-pop dramas, my K-dramas. So I think Netflix crushes it internationally. But
didn't you say this one you didn't like it 60, 65 like a week ago?
But it's like I look, it depends on your time. It depends on your time horizon.
I'm saying in 2 days, can they put up numbers that saves them from utterly collapsing at this point?
No.
Okay, so you think they're going to dump?
$60.
Dude, that's a dump from 73 to 60. That
well, technically it would be $57.40. It is a 25%, 23% shellacker.
But I don't think you think they're going to go down 25% on earnings.
Oh no, I think like you'll have an earnings move, and then after that, some point between now and the next 3 months, it'll probably be $57.
Wow.
As long as it doesn't get back over 75.
See, I kind of have the opposite view. I think sentiment is so bad on this name. I think they make a pump back up to 80 on earnings.
Why would they stop at 80? That's not a pump.
Okay, the number is more relevant. I just think they get out of this loophole or this what do you call it? Purgatory that they're stuck in right now.
Yeah, I think exactly what they need to get unstuck is a flusher to 57. If they get that flusher to 57, that's exactly the buy.
I just think it's too much of a blue chip stock for the toots to dump it that. Like, I don't think they would let it get that. You know, the last time it got that bad was 2022 when everything took a beating.
Yeah. I mean, that's 2022 right there. Kabam.
Yeah, but we're not in 2022. Like, I know Netflix is having some problems, but I don't know if it's enough. I feel like this is the worst they could get sentiment wise, unless they just shit the beds on Thursday really badly, which I don't think they will.
Yeah, I mean, maybe so no question. The problem here is if they pump, then you sell it because there's no reason it should sustain a pump. Yeah. Because whatever they say that is going to turn the company around is going to require a substantial amount of work and traction to be built because they don't have it today. And if they dump, also it's like, all right, now you're way down there. So I think the real answer is that one more time, it goes sideways and you sell some like this one. I don't know, sell some $80 calls. I don't know. Like it's just decidedly neutral. And I would sit on my hands to see, do I get an opportunity? Because either I'm an investor and I'm already invested and I would like to buy some more. That's option one. Or two, I'm an active trader and I'm waiting for this pop to probably say 95 so that I can short it back down or dump probably down to like $60 so that I can go long back up to 75. That's what's on the charts. So I think the setup is coming. I would love this one. And then that's all I would take. And then I would take it down again. But, and then, probably sideways for a while in that instance. But even this kind of blip, dude, that's not that much on the chart in retrospect.
I mean, 110 to 73 has definitely been ugly. Especially when it rebounded from 73 to 110.
You saw it coming though. It was like crystal clear. I mean, okay, so I take it back.
I don't think people saw a 30%, 35% drop coming because it rebounded from 70 to 110 after the Warner Brothers thing. So why did it have to go back down, right?
I mean, I don't know why it had to come back down. So that's why I'm saying, like, maybe it can go back up. I would like it to go back up, but I don't think it can get over 110. I don't think it sustains anything over 110. So again, I think a trade is coming. But it's not here yet.
Okay, we're gonna do 3 more tickers, then we'll end it out with Bitcoin and ETH. And we'll
Oh,
be
not
done.
we're not. So 5. Okay, got it.
Fastly.
Fastly, sell. I kid. I'm joking. I like it, dude. I like it a lot. So 17 is that kind of spot here. She's getting really close. I think a lot of things. So context, whatever. Did he put this in the stock draft like in the last minute? Was that one of the ones that got added or no? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure Fastly was in the show. I gotta check.
Dude. So I'm like, okay, Fastly's coming. This is the setup. This is like, what does good look like? All your simple moving averages getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Does it have to go right now? No. But earnings coming. I got all like, this looks very good. The next move would be into this 25 plus area. Still, if you're not even in this, that's another 25%. But if you got this at the, sub 17 level, like you're already juiced, and it's still looking good. I just needed to not go down anymore. I think honestly, these CDNs just absolutely destroy it. Specifically, Fastly, I think it's going to be dependent on how they can articulate their TAM, how this new CMO does. The lady from Druva. Druva used to be, I don't know if you know Druva. It's a good company. Was a good company for a while. They did good. So I haven't seen anything. We'll have to see what that looks like moving forward. I think you could pay a little bit more attention to what the internal offers are, but I think that more people are coming to understand that these are also security plays as well. And these will be very important companies for the foreseeable future. So I like it long term and short term a lot. Buy. It's a buy.
Lyft and Uber. Do those.
Lyft. Can I do Uber instead? I don't want to do Lyft.
I mean, someone in the chat wanted Lyft, but
I'm just comparing them. Uber is a buy at support, but it's been at this level for forever. I'm gonna look at them both. It's still 85 is overhead resistance up here. Dude, I can't even. Is there something wrong here with Uber? Like what's
you know what it is? I think the freaking robotaxi narrative, as stupid as it is for just killing Uber, it's the overhang on the stock. Like
is it? Yeah, there's clearly an overhang on the stock.
This should be $150 stock.
I have 136. Yeah.
They do 15 billion of free cash flow. This is not like, this is weird that it's trading at this level.
Yeah. So I have.
It's not like Tesla's going up. Tesla's also been stuck. So why is Tesla an overhang on Uber?
Ridiculous. I have $60 of support. So, dude, I hate to say it, but it's another one of more of the same sideways. $60 support, $85 resistance on Uber, smack in the middle. Lyft is a slightly more constructive. It's made a decent run. It's not getting a lot of love. Like I'm not seeing a lot of volume show up here. Support is at 1375. Resistance is at 1780s. Let me actually get this one more time. Clean this resistance up. Resistance is actually closer to 18s. You're the first stop right now. Yeah. This is definitely intriguing. but I don't know. This looks more like a trading spot. Also, I don't know the stock well enough to be like, oh, there's this massive bull case for Lyft. It's not like I could. The chart looks like Rivian, but for Rivian, I could say like, here's the bull case, blah 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 blah. I can't articulate that for Lyft, like with catalysts. I can't articulate that for Lyft. So for those reasons, I can't really say one way or the other. It's 1732. 1732 resistance on
All right.
Lyft, 1449 support.
Last one before Bitcoin and ETH, ELF.
The beauty. No. No. It was a no. So I want to say something good. Hold on, let me try. I can't. I can't. I try. $75 is overhead resistance up to 80. It totally hit that and it just got absolutely decimated. So that said, that's very near term. Long term, let's just zoom out. Let's do this. Forget all these SMAs for a second. Let's give her a fair shot.
It is up 40% in a month.
Yeah, I'm really trying here, dude. Like I'm really grasping for straws to try. I already had that. Oh no. What? Dude, I can't do it. I really tried to. It just looks bad. It's not a good chart.
Dude, do you want to do another one instead?
Yeah, give him a better pick. So like, it's just a big series of lower highs and lower lows, with the exception of one double bottom here. But the best thing I can say is that means consolidation for a while. So like consolidation for a while, and then it's gonna have to get over 90, like with strength. And even then, it's not out of the weeds. Then you go to 115, 130, so on and so forth.
Okay, so for the last ticker, we're going to do what we did last time. Everyone in the chat can put their ticker. Jason, I'm going to put a minute on the clock.
I'm going to give them one thing on ELF. If ELF pulls back to 60 and holds, that's better. I'm going to go from here, 60. You can look for that. That is also taking a very small little, this is a weekly chart, from here to here, a 50%, 50 to 65% drawdown would lock in your first lower high or higher low in a very long time. And then you could take that probably to 90s right in here. Hopefully. That's a trade that might be on the way. In the meantime, it's going to come in a little bit hotter. So what did they vote? Did you put a poll?
I don't know. You've got a minute starting now to pick a ticker. By the way, guys, a lot of these tickers we've did. Corning, we did. Intel, we did. AMD, we did. So many of these have already been done. They're in the chapters. Qualcomm, we did.
And he's putting me on the spot right now.
Yeah, you have to pick the last one. Some of these also, guys, we've been doing like for a while, like Celsius. We've done this for 10 weeks and nothing has really changed. So some of these, there's just not a. I know Jason's gonna be like, all right, why are we doing this? So really,
this looks good. This looks really good. ALGM. I like this a lot. My Onto, it's very expensive, but we'll see. Onto looks good. I mean, all these, dude. You know what? This, whatever. Pick your poison. All of my socks look pretty solid right here. I don't know. Oh, this would be nasty. Camtech. This is packaging you like. You like Amcor. This is ASX. Camtech. If Camtech can bounce from here, that's a pretty nice trade. Not gonna lie. On a reversal.
All right, you got to pick a ticker.
I just did. I mean, dude, I don't.
Oh, you got to pick it from the chat. None of those are in the chat.
Oh, from the chat? Dude, the chat picks dumb stuff. Hold on.
He said it, not me. He said
I
it,
love you, chat. I love
not me. All right, pick a ticker. Pick one.
you. Dude, Sphere. All right, Joshua, it says Sphere. I'm curious about this. SPHR. This stock. Oh. No, she looks hot. She looks heavy. There's
Look
so.
at- look at-
Oh. Well, okay. So they get Akamai.
No. Akamai, you've done this so many times. You got to pick a ticker. This is
You
one of your
want-
core tickers.
Is the same person doing BlackBerry over and over? What are you doing? CG, HPE, ASML, Walmart. We could do Walmart.
I don't really know if you want to end it on Walmart. I don't
Why?
know, but because it's fucking Walmart. Like,
We're gonna do Astera.
okay, Astera, that's it.
And I also want to look at net. Okay, so I just a quick look at. So the thing is, I can tell really quick. This is not ready. But Arista is. So here's Arista. Is it in the chat? This is what I'm saying. I don't think Arista was once in the chat. Or Apple.
Dude, whichever one you want to do is the last one. It's up to you. It's up
You
to
said that, and I started doing my thing, and then you were like, no.
No, then
So-
you were just going through like 10 tickers.
Because I had to find it. So here's Arista. Let's get you on a daily chart. I think it's pretty straightforward. She's looking good. Everything expanding. Networking super cycle. Here's our breakout from here. Even this smaller range right there. You're good. Post earnings, you're holding over it. This is looking with earnings ahead for like August 4th. You got another little. I was looking for a nicer pullback. I didn't get it. But holding this 179, 180 level immediately, if she gets through, this is a $200 stock, probably before earnings. So another $20 quickly to the upside, potentially a little bit more than that, but not too much. And yeah, this is honestly, it's a pretty solid break. As long as it's holding in general on Arista extension, it's a breakout, it's an extension, it's all of the above. So I like it for a lot of different reasons. And it is in the right place from a stock perspective, like industry perspective. So with a catalyst on deck, any pullbacks here seem to be viable for a nice little one more push to the upside. I like that. I also like Apple. And then I'll leave it there. So I got two. I stole two. Apple, interestingly, if you can get over 317, this is a 330 handle on it. I think real trade, though, again, if you want to sell some premium both sides, I think you can sell on both ends of this. But if you get a push through, that would be great over that 317. Otherwise, watch this for this general support area. So one of these two, the trade is coming. Arista, I think, is the one I could call clean direction right now. Sorry, Scotty, with the MSTR.
Well, we're going to end it out with Bitcoin and ETH anyway. So kind of.
Yeah, I don't know about MSTR, but Biddy. What's happening?
It's kind of moving.
She's alive.
Moving here.
What am I looking at right now?
Clarity Act, maybe?
You go to
CPI looks good.
67. I think you're going to see 70s. Is that bullish or bearish? I don't know.
So you think 40, 50, that's out of the question now, or does the chart still look like it could?
No, it's not out of the question by any means. It's not out of the question. But we're going to get a little bit of a bounce here. That
Dude,
I think,
if we could see a 7 handle on it, I feel like people would be so happy.
I know, right? And then you should tell them that you should sell. You're just going to get this little blip on the radar, at which point you need to be careful, because that's how that would happen. But you never know. You don't know. Just saying, this interesting. This can hold through. it's right there. It's right there. So this is a spot. I think it's closer to the like bottom than anything anyways. If this can get through the all those SMAs, dude, this is looking like a spicy setup that could take you to that 100K.
What do you think is happening outside of the technicals that's causing this? Because I mean, you've been in crypto for a while. Do you think there's anything?
It's
special?
crypto. I've been in it for a while. It's always super technical like this. It's extremely technical. And these technicals, look at this. Like your prevailing kind of uptrend break test. It's technical, dude. I think if you're trying to do fundamentals on Bitcoin, it's like no. This is the rawest form of technical analysis, like of a technical asset that you can possibly find. Is Bitcoin. Like it's the most raw. But yeah, this looks like you're gonna bounce, and it's gonna look like potentially it's gonna look like the bottom's in, but the bottom may not be in. I think right here, right now, this takes you to, but it is closer to the bottom than it is the top. That's true. I think here, this takes you decidedly to 70, potentially into 75s. If that's your major resistance, about 75. If you can get through 75, then you're going to have that bigger move. But at 70K, this is what's been happening with Bitcoin. It does this thing and it gets right about to its first stop and then it just dumps out. Like that's exactly what it did last time. So it was the same. Watch. It was the same exact setup last time. It gets right into this. This is your resistance. Same kind of thing. It gets there and then it just dumps out. So you don't want to see that happen again. But what I can say I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at another one of these kind of pops, which could look like that.
Okay, and then ETH. I mean, I would imagine following the same.
Oh, for sure, following the same. This is all happening today?
Yeah, dude. I think it's because Clarity Act August 7th is the new expectation. And then CPI was so good that risk on assets got a bid.
Look.
I mean, what else could be the reason outside of TA?
Yeah, I don't even care about crypto, right? But like, I like these all look good. And I, like I said before, we're closer to the bottom, even slightly higher than we are the top. So you're from that perspective, risk reward is fine, right? Like meaning here's the bottom and here's the top. Like, dude, you're way closer to the bottom. Over 2K. This looks like it's gonna see 2,500. If this can get through 2K, which, dude, that's a nice
if
little
we could
jump.
see ETH 25 to 3K would be.
No, I didn't say 3. You're putting words in my mouth. What are you talking
No,
about?
I know you said 2,500, but if we could get to 3K around that range, I mean, a lot of people would be breaking even.
Okay, so realistically, we should be able to see 2,100 from here. Does that get you excited?
Yeah, above 2,000, I think would be very exciting.
Okay, so the setup is like this. So you get this. What? Why are you laughing?
No, nothing. Makes sense.
Look, it's just early. It looks like, you know what? Someone said, I've heard this, not me. You just have to prepare for a bottom, not the bottom. Does that make sense? So this looks like a bottom. I cannot call this as the bottom, but a bottom looks like it is in. Whether or not it's the bottom, you'll never know. And I don't think that anybody really can ever say that, right?
That's fair. It's just Bitcoin and ETH have been through the ringer this year, you know? So you would imagine if there's any real positive momentum, like now would be the time. But then again, that's when it kind of breaks down every time you think so.
Yeah, so this is going to look squeezy for a bit. I think I have clarity. I have a very clear path to 2100 on Ethereum and then 71K on Bitcoin from here. But once it's there, I can't see further because I have to see what happens next. Like I have to see, does it continue on or does it stop and reverse? And I think that's what I can say for sure.
Okay. That is what we have for crypto.
Yeah, they're just going through. I don't know. I'm just looking through the charts. I'm like, you know. AOI looks like it was there. Did you grab this today? Oh, if she's over 128, yeah, she can bounce. Some of these low. Your form is ready. Don't you have form?
No, I don't.
Don't you have form in the draft?
No. I don't think anyone has form in the draft. Do you?
No.
Oh, Chris might actually.
Oh, you have fix. You have fix.
Yeah, fix.
There you go. Fix systems, baby. That looks like, I mean.
Look, dude, if Airtest Systems actually change sentiment, then we're going to see a lot of these names reverse.
I agree. I think this is exactly where you want to look. Sienna looks good. I'm just saying a lot of these are clocking some lows right now. It looks like it. So like crypto, I could say a lot of these looks like they're ready for a bounce. Is it the bounce? Is it off the low? I can't not say.
It's a good point because their charts all are up today, but they've all been in such a bad drawdown that like it's probably time for a bounce if it's not the bounce.
Right. I think I usually try to preface most things like that. So
ISRG, are you looking at that at all for earnings? Intuitive Surgical.
Intuitive Surgical is more like investment grade, generally speaking, before I even click on the chart. So no, I wasn't. I don't even think about it. But when I think about us, like specifically this stock, I think of like, wow, this is down a lot. I would think that this is probably eventually going to be a buy. This is the what's the machine called? The
Da Vinci, I believe.
Da Vinci machine. Yeah. So unless there's some other leader, there's another one too in this space. This, Scotty, is that for me or for that event? I think if this pulls back, a 330 pullback is probably going to be pretty good on ISRG. And again, this is another one of those stocks where like I was saying before about, you have a really good company here. Honestly, you're on that level, and in its history, anytime you've gotten an opportunity to pick this up around that 200-week simple moving average, it might not pay you right away, but it's good. Like it's a good deal long term. Even some like here's another one. So I remember this. I was just thinking about this one, Mickey Donald's. What did they do to the McChick here, dude? They are just destroying
GLP, as you said.
Oh, dude, maybe you're onto something.
I mean, no, I think that was your theory. I don't. It makes sense. Why? I didn't even think of it, but it does make sense. That
didn't Mickey D's say we're having a problem? They literally said that on their last earnings call.
They said the lower end of the consumer as well, I think, is struggling.
They said that their consumer is toasted.
No.
Man,
The
what are we
fact that
gonna do
Pepsi
here?
and McDonald's look the same. Yeah, I mean, you might be onto something, dude. Maybe
Me, you're making this call, not me.
think
I
the
haven't
GLP
even
is
been
good
on
at
any
what?
GLP ones. You know, so like here's McDonald's back when. That's a long chart and then a huge dumper below the. But my God, that's $12. Okay, what are we talking about here? Yeah, so I feel like anything here, like I don't have to be in a rush. That is not a great look on anybody own a McDonald's franchise in the chat. Can they let us know if they're doing well or not?
You
I
know,
feel like I
it's
should
one of
call.
it's one of the more expensive. It's like $2 million to open a
Yeah.
McDonald's franchise to get started.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I knew somebody when I was a kid that their parents had one, but or they had like 3. I think I can get a hold of a Chick-fil-A franchise member though. Although Chick-fil-A is just,
I
They
would
make-
buy that stock so quickly if it went public.
dude, have you ever run into like, do you know this? They make so much money. It's gross. At least every time I've ever talked to them, it's so hard to get a franchise. Very particular, very religious. But yeah, lines around. I wonder, In-N-Out too. Can you get an In-N-Out franchise? Next time we're
In-N-Out.
here, by the way, I have to show you how to order In-N-Out because I remember you saying it was junk, but I think most people don't know how to order it. You have to order it very special.
It's not junk. It's not better than Five Guys or.
That's
Shake
not
Shack.
true though. It's just not true. It is
It
true
is
if you don't know how to order.
Well,
But if-
what's on your order? You put a ton of animal sauce and I mean, that's not
Animal
that's
sauce.
not animal style. Whatever you do to make like
Dude, you get a flying, you could do all kinds of stuff. But they have pickles. Did you know they have peppers? There's 4 different types of onions. Have it your way. You usually get a triple double. First of all, it's a triple double animal styles with the extra whole grilled onions and pickles.
Well, so first of all, I hate
Well-
the animal style sauce, so I can't even eat that.
You don't have to get the
Like-
animal style sauce, but you
But that
can
is
get.
Their meat is not.
They go 4x4
Eight
programs out.
burgers.
Dang. And it's not. If you like the sauce, it's not overhyped. I like the sauce, but
That's
you could
fair.
make it. You could make it at home, which we have. Oh, okay. Do you cook at home? Anybody cook at home? I'm going to give you a little tip, a little tipski as the end of Technical Tuesday. In-N-Out.
Amit would definitely like Five Guys. Is crazy.
I don't like Five Guys. Too greasy, dude. In-N-Out tacos. So it's a smash burger. You make your In-N-Out sauce, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, little pickle relish, whatever. Smash burger. Throw a corn tortillas, the small one, right on top of it. Let it cook. Flip her over. Grill that meat right into the taco. Fold her up, and it's a wrap. Throw some shredded lettuce in the middle and some cheese. I'm telling you, you guys thank me later. Summertime's coming.
All right, that's what we got today, folks. Thank you, Jason,
Yes.
for being here. Make sure to follow him on X. I'm putting his YouTube as well in the chat.
Appreciate you, dude.
So next Tuesday, I don't think we're doing this because no, we are. So we're good next Tuesday. The Tuesday after that, we have. Oh no, we're good. Oh, perfect, dude. We have none of the Mag 7 on Tuesdays.
I also
Except
thought we should start, because we're coming to earnings season, you and I should connect a little bit extra, because like I'm happy to come in on a different day and do it a different time. And I think a lot of times it's, while we get closer to earnings season, I will start skipping a lot of charts, which is where he's
Yeah,
going.
that's true.
You didn't know.
That's true.
Because if it's like earnings are tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Look, it's not going to be ideal. But the broad index and earnings go like group by group. So it's only one industry at a time that's going to be reporting. And I will tell you right now, AEHR and what was it? TESM, Tower Semiconductor, today told a little bit of a story. Does that story hold? I don't know. But those two stocks combined for the broader picks and shovels play, very, very bullish for the resurgence of the AI trade, of the AI picks and shovel trade. I'll just say that. So I think from here, yeah, this is going to look good. We have
Tomorrow's really important because, to your point, a couple companies having some good earnings. Either that's
the biggest
like a
one is
little bit
tomorrow.
of a,
Well, the big
yeah,
one's
with
tomorrow.
ASML. Yeah, ASML.
Yeah.
I mean, either it's like legit or the market's going to disrespect it again, and this semi drawdown continues to be.
Yeah, and we should let them know, like, ASML always sells off on earnings. Like, it always sells off on. I cannot actually think it's comical. If you guys didn't know, like, if that changes this time, here's earnings. It's like a big here. Earnings here, sell off. Earnings here, sell off. Earnings here, sell off. Here, neutral, but sold off. Even here, sell off. I can't here. Sold off intraday, rebounded. Earnings here. Oh, that's clearly a sell off. But here, sell off, beat. It doesn't. There's one right there that it didn't sell off. So we'll see. I think the reactions are going to be important, though.
All right. Well, that is it for us. Thank you all for being here. I will be back in an hour. I'll be streaming with Adam, and we're going to be talking some Palantir. So I'll be back in about